It is 3 p.m. on the third day of the third month in a 3-year. Pretty nuts, guys.
I have to have permission to record.
Cool.
I'm actually going to give you guys all permission to record here. Just give me 1 second. Make sure I can do that. If anybody wants to record, you can. I am recording this, but I want to make sure everyone else gets a chance to do this. I got Brian recording now. Allow record. Okay. If anybody else wants to record, you can. If
I
you,
want to record.
who's that?
Me, I want to record.
Name.
Record on the bottom.
Yeah, you have to request record. So I'm just going to allow everybody to record right now, and then that way, if you guys want, you can, and then you're good. If you can't record, so Katharina says she needs permission. Okay, allow record. Okay, now Katharina, you can try that again. I'm going to keep that up. Cool, nice, awesome, sweet. I can see the happy dance. Okay, let's make sure that I'm allowing Maddie to record. Here we go. Let's just give you that one as well. Allow record. And then who else we have that needs to record? Melissa, you want to record? I'll allow you to do that. Penny as well. Looks like I can't allow you to record. You may be using a weird device. That's okay. And if you guys don't want to record it, it's all good. I will be recording it, but it's always nice to have your own version of this so that you guys have it on your computer. You don't have to worry about downloading stuff. I'd love to too. Virginia, let's get you there. How are you? Allow record. You have the ability to record. You are recording. Okay. Cecile, how do I do this? Cecile, where are you? Let me see. Cecile's iPhone. You can't record on an iPhone, but I am recording this for you. So you will be able to download this.
Oh, okay.
So I will get you a copy of this. Are we missing anyone, guys? Are we missing anybody? I'm just going to make sure. Jody's here. Hey, Jody. What's up? It's going to allow you to record. And who else? I thought, Hilda, we were going to allow you to record. I can't let you. Who else? Celeste, iPad, I can't.
That's cool.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. You're recording. So if we get the recording afterwards, that's cool.
Yeah, where's Sheena? Yeah, we're missing Sheena, right? And we're going to try to wait for everybody, but at the same time, we can't because you guys are here. You've decided to be here. And of course, if she comes in late, we're good, but I feel really raw about not having her here while we get started. Is anyone able to quickly just message her, or how about everybody messages her all at once? She's like, oh my God, I'm missing this. What the hell? So if she can get on this, would be great. But I don't want her to miss this. So.
Professor, shut up.
Now, what about everyone else muted? I'm going to mute Katharina. Everyone else is muted, but I will allow participants to unmute themselves so that you guys can speak at any moment you need to, okay? I'm also going to mute on entry in case any of you guys get disconnected. Then you guys can reconnect and we'll be here. This is going to be cool. Just want to make sure we're all good. I'm going to make sure I've got enough space in front of me. I'm closing off all distractions. There you go. Goodbye, Facebook. And we have your guys' chart in front of us. I've been working on this. This is my pride and joy, guys. Some of you have an idea because some of you and I have already had the opportunity to work together. And for that, I thank you so much. There's a reason why you guys are here now, and I'm not asking you guys to pay because you guys have already gotten this information. Sheena got my message. We'll be here soon. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, guys, is change your lives. We're going to change your lives. I know it's kind of crazy to think about this, to think, really, a letter can change my life? It can, okay, and it absolutely will. But at the same time, there's more to this than just a single letter. There are certain things inside of our time together that we won't be able to do. I'm going to share this with you guys here, and this is basically what we're going to do. Okay, we're looking at your guys' chart. I'm just going to put this up here. Where am I? Cool. And I'm going to put this down here like this, so we get this, and I got all you guys in one space. And there are certain things we can do, and there are certain things we cannot do. if you take a look at what it looks like to have someone's chart, let's just pull up Naomi's, okay? Because I just did Naomi's just a little while ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you her chart. And then that way we can get a chance to actually see, where is it? It's going to show up here sooner or later. Here we go. So when I take a look at someone's personal chart, it looks like this, okay? I break down the first name, I break down the middle name, I break down your last name, I break down the whole name all as one, and I break down the name you're using, and I also break down your birthday, okay? So when we work together personally, this is what I'm looking at. I get a chance to see who you are today, who you are when you don't want to be you, who you are as a family, what you were born as, what you show up today as, and then what your birthday shows up as, okay? So this is a personal chart. Then I take a look and I see what it looks like as a group setting, okay? Now in a group setting, as you can see, I'm looking at the name you were born with. So if there are any changes to here, please unmute yourself and let me know that that this is the case, that we've made a mistake. I can see that I do have Burton the way it was. I'm just gonna close it up for Cecile just so that we can fit a little bit more into the page. And then the other really important information is to make sure your birthday's here, because that obviously has a really big impact on your life. I've taken your birthday and I've written it out in life path format, okay? So for people who are born in August, you see an 8 here. You're born in April, you see a 4 here. If you're born in, where's my November baby? Right here, Barbara. Then you'll see an 11 here, okay? So I'm gonna be putting different numbers inside of these 3 sequences: month, day, and year. So I know it's a little bit different than how you guys read it down there, but whereas I've learned it, the vibration shows up like this. And what we also get to see is that this creates a path in your life. We're going to talk about this. You guys will notice, hey, there's a bunch of 9s in here. There's a bunch of 9s in here. Like, I noticed that categorically speaking, we had a lot of 9s inside of your guys' charts as a group. When I see a lot of 9s, I feel a lot of love. I feel a lot of care, and I feel a lot of service to others. This isn't just a business, guys. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. This is a lot of like changing the world and a lot of creation of wealth for other people and service to others. Of course we want to make money. Of course we want to be in business. Of course we want to put this whole thing together and become successful entrepreneurs. That's why we join this online business, but it quickly turns into a spiritual growth. And I just wanted to recognize that with the amount of 9s in here, I was like, okay, there's a lot of bigger, deeper emotions happening on here. I think that's the number that appears the most. But if anyone else sees a bigger one, for sure, okay? I'm just going to see here. It's going to keep up with the chat. I'm noticing that we have I'd love to. Okay, model the menu. Okay, we'll be here soon. I would have done this months ago, but my payment didn't go through. I'm so sorry about that. The problem with my site will slowly be rectified, and it's one of those problems, I guess, expanding business, you have to got so many moving pieces, and I'm more of the thinker and the metaphysical type of feel. So when I'm trying to figure out how Facebook and Messenger and all this stuff works together, it doesn't work. So I appreciate you being here. Bobby just noticed Kirsty's name is spelt wrong in full name. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go here, Kirsty. Okay, thank you for that. It's actually Kirsty, right? K-I-R. And so can you confirm it should be Kirsty and, oh, and there's also an extra E in there. Ooh, okay, in full name. It says Kirsty Ann, but it should be Kirsty Ann Halliday. So I'm going to take this moment to quickly update this. Super embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I figure it out. Sometimes I don't. So we're going to go Kirsty Ann Halliday and see how this changes. So we have a number here that goes to 448. And then also it ends in an 8. So I'm going to change it to my cool color coding system. And when I change it to my color coding system, it looks like this. And then it also looks like this. And it also looks like this. And it also looks like this. Okay. So I'll explain what these colors mean. Most of them are for me, but some of them are for you. These numbers in your Facebook call name and your business name are for you. These are your numbers. These are the colors that are going to show up at the bottom that say works well, works smart, mastery, severe challenge, needs alignment, or works too hard. Now, when I work with the group at the very beginning, most of it looks red and yellow and black. Okay, I get it. It's a reality of our lives. But then you see this little group of individuals at the bottom of the chart who all have purple names. They all have names that are in the mastery. These are my clients. You see them: Julia U. Wonder, Penny T. Michelle, Svenja H. Dam, Naomi E. Christine Kellner Reed, Dr. Bill K. Reed. And then we have Barbara in the situation here where we're going to talk about this. Barbara Y. Reed works. Success Designer works. But when we put the two together, it doesn't work. So I poked on your page and I'm like, oh, so when you advertise, someone sees Barbara Y. Reed, Success Designer, it's missing one thing. So I'll offer some things there for you just in case you do want to move it around, or maybe you want to remove one of them from there, depending on how you want to look. We'll talk about that. Okay. Usually business names, we have things like Freedom and Health, Viva Health and Wealth, Nutrition on the Go, Rainbows Are Everywhere. I love that one. That was fun. And then things like Success Designer. So you guys are using your business as a part of your name. And I have thoughts on that. Also your Facebook call name. This handy little tool, this is a radio. I am currently using my radio. I've got my one radio right now. It's got an antenna, my brain, and then it has a speaker. So there's this antenna that I'm using to communicate with you, and I'm dialing it into this antenna and this radio. It's going through another cord into my other radio, and then it's being broadcast to you guys in Australia. So I'm radios, on antennas, on radios, on connections, coming into a very, we're in a really powerful place where we can do this across the world. But we're a bunch of radio antennas. And sometimes the signal is sit on the static, and other times it's set on the meditation. It's at the right frequency, and it actually has a power inside of what it can do for you. So when we hear, and imagine, I'm this one here, right? Miracle tones, activate pineal gland, open the third eye, open the heart chakra. Could you imagine if 5 minutes before this, I was listening to heavy death metal, like this crazy amount of vibration was coming into me right before I met you guys? Like, imagine the difference of where my state would be if I was listening to static, noise, unbalance, crackle in the radio antenna, or if I was coming in crystal clear HD value. And this is what I do for people. Inside of our time together in a single one-on-one session, I get a chance to unfold your story so that you can be introduced to yourself in the way that you are owed. I believe that we should truly know ourselves. So the biggest eye-opening experience is to learn about what's happening inside of these different types of your numbers. Like Naomi's got a very quiet perspective inside of her front name, but don't let her fool you, because she's got communication in a lot of different areas, which pulls her into wanting to be an artist, right? So we understand that, it's sometimes the quietest people who make the biggest impact, right? And that feeling can show up inside of a name. It can also show up to be blocking us, where we want to say something, but it comes out messed up. Or we want to connect with something, but we can't seem to put it together. Or we'd like to be working like Rainbows Are Everywhere, but the number doesn't actually say that. It says bricks and roads and tools are everywhere. And we're like, well, what about the rainbow? I want to be a little bit more of the feeling of love and connection and joy and all that stuff. Whereas the vibration of it says that's not exactly what it says to you. So there's a confusion in there. Now, nobody knows numerology, guys. So I can appreciate that you're like, well, I don't get this. What does this all mean? Like, what are those numbers even telling me? Just trust me when I'm saying this. People have gotten married because of me. They've had kids because of me. They've gotten pregnant after trying for years. And they've been able to actually create life, millions of dollars. Their business looks amazing. Their personal lives look amazing. The testimonials and the reviews I hear are endless. And I want to separate myself real quick. This is not me, okay? I am not this amazing, super duper awesome, holy crap guru. You listen to Bobby, I'm going to change your life. It's the technology, okay? It's not me, it's the tech. The fact that this thing exists, you use it to build houses, you use it to build cars, you use it to build radios. Every single thing on this planet that you can hold, touch, grab, feel, sense, in dimensional value shows up with the vibration on it. So we get a chance to measure yours. And there are some powerful things that people want in life, right? Like, oh, I just want to travel the world and be free and not work a job. And I want to be, contributing to others. And I'm going to have a powerful business and it's going to be successful and it's self-sustaining and it's growing with or without me. And we all have different versions of this. And then it gets a little deeper. And some people are like, I just want to change the world, or I just want to feel good, or I just want to get over my trauma or over the abuse that I've dealt with in my relationship or my past or my childhood. I was let down, or like something was a failure in some place. And this can be a difficulty inside of us. Okay. So I'm getting another correction here. Catherine is saying my business page is just Chrysanthi. So we're going to take this out. And we're going to measure this up. And I appreciate you letting me know this, guys, before we get too far. Because if we get too far, next thing you know, I'm going to be doubling over. So I really appreciate you letting me know this. I thought it was. You gave it to me that way. Chrysanthi. You absolutely gave it to me that way, but I didn't realize that's what it was. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly change it up a little bit, make sure that it looks like this and looks like this. And we'll absolutely line it up, but then also that means that your letters are going to change as well. So we're going to go like this, and I'm going to borrow this from Viva Health because she's got the same letters. So I'm just going to pick this up, put that here, and then I think that's it. That's probably the only ones that I can think of. Oh, sorry, wrong one. We're going to do this one, and this one, and this one. So I'll tell you what these guys mean in a couple seconds here, a couple minutes here as we continue on. So we're going to delete that, and let's go up here like that, and let's just do this. Cool. Does it matter how many in the rainbows are everywhere? Because Facebook page has rainbows everywhere with Marie Ann. See, this is a question we're going to answer. We're absolutely going to go into this. And, if let's say rainbows are everywhere with Mary Ann, I would just be putting a G, P, or a Y in there somewhere. So like rainbows are everywhere with Mary G. Ann, or Mary P. Ann, or Mary Y. Ann, or with Mary with two Y's and the word Ann. So there are different ways to concoct a name back together in case you guys want to make it work for your own thing there. Kirsty's business page name is Kirsty Soskind. So you see how Kirsty Soskind shows up as a Facebook name? So in the case of like Brian, right, we have Brian Soskind 729, Brian R. Soskind also 729. There's only going to be a couple of different options there. Some of you guys have options in the blue and the red, but then Brian's only got the options in the red. Seeing as I'm already lining up Kirsty Soskind, I'm going to be putting one in red for Facebook called name. And then I also am going to balance out the domain as well, just in case you're curious as to how to make Kira's Soskind works.com work in a powerful way. Okay, so I do understand that some of you guys are going to double over because you're using the same name, but it's rare. Not many of you are using the same name. Almost all of you are using a different name for business, whether through me or because of something else. So cool questions. Absolutely keep them coming. I don't mind. But in case they get derailed, I appreciate your guys' patience. So we got a couple of names we're using. These are different radio stations for which your guys' frequency gets a chance to express itself. And sometimes they don't quite work, and sometimes they work exquisitely, okay? When we look at a name that doesn't quite work, you're up for a challenge, you're up for an experience, and that can be a very difficult thing to take care of. But when things are magnetically working towards your advantage, man, does that feel good. It just, like, for me, I'll just embarrass myself in front of you guys a little bit because, and I know that, you guys are going to really support me in this. Sometimes my ego gets a little bit too sharp and I don't like expressing the fact that I have a really strong history in self-abuse and that I used to be really addicted to drugs and I used them as painkillers. And I would basically, it went from weed, smoking lots of weed to like taking pills to doing a lot of cocaine. Never really got into the alcohol, but it always was all about the self-harm and the distraction against of self. I'm just noticing here that I made an error here. 1976 should be a 5, and so this should be a 1. So if you guys are keen, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you this. I will show you, because I sometimes make some mistakes. there is a site that I use, tokenrock.com/numerology, and I just add the birthday in there. So what we're going to do is just going to confirm this, right? Let's see what I had there was October 22nd, 1976. So I'm just going to quickly put this October 22nd, 1976. And this is what I'm looking at. So let's down a little bit. So this is kind of to help me with my math, because I usually just like do this in my mind. But numerology, it's not Bobby. This is a thing. This is a real thing. It takes your birthday and it adds it up to 3 digits, 1, 22, and 5, which equal to 28. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So it's a life path 1. I cut the corner and I go 1, 22, 5 equals 1. Okay, so this is how I'm coming up with it. So in case you guys want to check my math, and if I've made a mistake, these numbers should rely, really it's just going to be the third one, the third number that I make that mistake on if I do. But if I do, I appreciate you guys so much. Celeste is saying, my personal Facebook is Celeste Woods. That's this one. My business name, Facebook, is Marie Celeste, and then you've got Take Your Power Back. So yes, I do have that. Okay, I make sure that that's right. If I've made a mistake, let me know what part of it, just so I know that I did that. And I appreciate your guys' patience with me. So we all want that success, whatever it looks like for us. Some of us want to have kids. Some of us don't want to have kids. Some of us want to have a powerful business and a team. Some of us just want to build it on our own and be the quiet person in the background. Some of us have our egos tied into it, and we want to stand on stage, and we want to talk to a bunch of people, and we want to actually lead the masses. Some of us want to go really far and say, we're going to use this and we're going to build communities. We're going to donate money. There's going to be a powerful feel of it. Some of us are very spiritual and super nonverbal. So in case you got lots of 7s in your charts, and we'll talk about this, Jody, this feeling can be very much like, or Bill, like the strong and silent type, like doesn't need to say very much. All right, so that feeling can show up inside of your guys' chart. There may be a part of you that says, I feel it, I can see it, I see it in my mind, but it's a frustration when I try to come out and say something. I'm not sure where my words are. So what we get a chance to do is put the name you're using in the direction you're using it, and actually let you take full force, full flight. What I would not suggest, I would suggest against, just so we're doing some warnings here at the very beginning of our time, is nobody go and change your name legally. Okay, if anyone is feeling the soul urge to change your name legally, stop. Big red stop sign. I don't know sure if the stop signs are red in Australia, but stop, and do not do that without me. There are other things that we need to talk about before you can just run into your names office and change a name. Some of you guys may be getting married. If you are, that's a really great opportunity to change your name seamlessly. But legally speaking, we're going to put those to the side. There are certain names that we can use. The easy ones for me in one chart when I'm looking at this many people, your Facebook name and your business name. But there are also your handles, right? Like what's this one? Take Your Power Back. How about your Instagram handle? How about your Twitter handle? Does anybody use Twitter out there? How about your email? How about your domain, the web page you use? How about your signature? How about some of the people here who are, let's say, I see we've got some people here who are born in the 60s. Maybe you guys are more comfortable picking up the telephone and calling someone. Imagine what happens when your name shows up in a call display. If that name sucks, and no offense, that person probably doesn't want to answer your call. Or when they do, you're fighting, or you don't know how to say, or it's a one-sided conversation. Or if you're like me, you look at the phone and you're like, I don't know who that is. I'm not answering that thing. And that feeling could be like, oh, hey, or like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And you're just like chatting away because the name you use on that particular direction actually says something about the way that your communication is going to show up. So it would be different for everyone. Some of you guys are probably going to want to build Instagram businesses as well, and Facebook businesses, or how about just personal profile, and start communicating your power and your business on your actual business, your actual Facebook profile. Be careful. This is the name we use. So when I'm looking at how to balance this out, we're going to see that there are going to be options. Okay, so I know this looks super confusing, but I'll kind of read you the legend as we go along. So in terms of this set of numbers, we have a couple of different outfits that you guys can wear, okay? They're going to be, some of them move a little bit faster. Some of them move a little bit more like solid. I wouldn't say as fast. some of them speak into mastery, and some of them speak absolute difficulty. Okay, so there are some very powerful mastery style names, advanced style names, beginner style names, and just run of the go proper vibrations that you can use. If it's red, I'm talking about your Facebook called name. Okay, if it's blue, I'm talking about your business name. If it's black, this is just for Celeste. It's because you gave me 3 names, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm giving you 1, 2, and 3 vibrations. And then Melissa, she's got a name that already works and another name that already works. So we're not really going to go into too many of them, but at the same time, I will give you something you can use in case you guys want to. There will be questions. There will be questions to go through this. And then you guys will notice at the bottom, some of you guys don't have letters in here because you don't need them. Your names have been worked out. However, some of you guys have messaged me and said, hey, Bobby, I'm still dealing with some stuff going on. Now, my question is, did we pick the right letter? So if you'll notice, this list is going to be in order of who paid me. So we're going to go through this list in order of, who showed up first. And I will be here with you as long as it takes. I am hoping that we don't go over 4 hours, but sometimes we go up to 3, okay? And so, yes, I understand that there are going to be some pee breaks. I understand that there's going to be some, like, that feeling of, like, oh, I'm still here. I am recording this, and I do understand that I talk a lot. So I appreciate you guys sticking in with me. And if you guys do need to remove yourselves, don't worry, there is a recording. But if I do start talking about you, don't get up and go pee at that moment, okay? But just to make sure that you guys do have this, would be nice if you had, notes in one hand, water in the other. Some of you may have a glass of wine or something stronger. Some of you guys may have the cigarette with the lighter ready to go just in case things get too stressful. So whatever shows up, it's all good. But if you do find yourself getting tired or even something to munch on, if you got whatever needs you need to keep met around you, I encourage and implore them. I'm not a stickler. I had a really heavy history and a lot of really fun stuff that wasn't so great for my future. So in case anybody wants to, some people sitting with a glass of wine, just like, he got that's true. And so I get it. If that's you, you're down for that, that's fine. I'm completely cool with you. I just want to let you know that this is where we're going to end. We're going to end with values that work for your name, so we can turn all of these reds into what looks like this. Like this is another one that I'm doing. I haven't done this for this is the Diva group. Okay, so you guys sort of saw me talk about this. This is tough. This is a tough group of people to deal with. All of their names are like, I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. But at the end, it looks like this. This is what names look like once we're done with them. They look green. They look blue. They look purple. They look mastery. There's power in being able to align. So we're going to do yours. We're absolutely going to give you guys everything you need to be able to walk through in success, in power. Also, I'm just going to make sure, sorry, give me 1 second. My office has not yet been completed. I've just moved. So sometimes things get unplugged, and I just noticed that something did. So I'm just going to re-plug it in case I lost signal there. But I appreciate you guys. When we look at names, they're everything, but they're not actually, they're a lot, but they're not everything. They will help you move forward, but let's go a little bit back. Okay, let's take a look at some of this stuff. These 2 columns are in a different area of letters. These are for me so that I know from 1 till 11, if I see like Cecile is going to be a name path 4, I know if there's any life path 4s. There are no life path 4s here. However, if I see a 5, I know immediately that Katharina is a 5. Virginia's name is a 5 as well. So these sets of colors are different than these ones, okay? And the name you were born with either works or doesn't. It either works or doesn't. Pernine Pallister Doyayag, this name works. Jody Marie Bevan, this name works. So we have a powerful vibration of mastery in there. Whereas some of us here are working too hard, or it doesn't work at all, or it's a trouble with communication. And we see that these are your actual legal names, okay? So we know, and I'll just share with you mine. I haven't changed mine yet, but it doesn't work, okay? I have a name that is a self-attack and nobody knows. So I deal with the self-abuse of the negativity in my mind, and I'm fighting myself all the time and wondering and second guessing myself and can't come up to a decision. And, this feeling shows up as I want to do harm against myself. So I see that inside of my name. I'm planning on changing it before my wedding. Either I'm going to go Bawan Francisco and just put an A in there, or Bawan Francisco's and just put an S in there. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet, but that's my life. Okay, so just so you guys know, I put my name in there just to keep you guys understanding that we're all in this together, okay? And then we get a chance to look at your birthday, which we come back to think that these numbers you guys are going to lean on, you guys are going to learn from, to understand that other people have them, that we're all dealing with this. But just pay attention to this, okay? We're getting a snapshot of the pieces of your chart. Look, I'm getting 1 number, 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers that we're using. Inside of a chart, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Naomi may want to get married one day and change her last name. Maybe she doesn't. But there are more names to you than just what we're looking at, okay? So we're absolutely going to see this. And I'm looking at this, Jody's saying, is it true that when divorcing and wanting to go back to maiden name? Absolutely. And no offense to your ex-husband either, but no wonder you're divorced. Then the vibration takes you for a loop. And now suddenly you're not in the same vibe anymore. You're not the same woman anymore. You're not the same person you used to be. Oh, you've changed, he says. Damn right I changed. I lost a piece of myself because of you. And so that reality is, if you're about to get married or take your last name or change it naturally, please consult me, guys. I promise you, I will help you come up with something supremely powerful so that you guys can save your marriage before it even goes into down the chute. At the same time, I'd like to think that all things under the sun, nothing is new. All of this was supposed to happen. There's a greater divine mechanism around us that says that, like we're supposed to go through these, and relationships that don't serve us forever are supposed to teach us something. So is it wrong? No. But are you in control now? Absolutely. Like to think that this stuff exists and we don't know about it and they're never going to teach you. It takes a sacred trust and a super absolute blessing to be able to share this with you guys so that you guys understand that there is an availability of power for you. But I will put a couple disclaimers on this. If anyone here is, like religious in faith, depending on the religion that you're in, some religions or cultures will like mandate that you do not touch numerology. Some religions are saying that you don't take a name unless it's numerologically aligned. So depending on the different culture part of the world that you're in, is this 333? Woo! That's awesome. Welcome, guys. This is it. That power is this is your power. So I would like to introduce you to my culture. My culture is this of math. In this most powerful, holy time, this moment is going to be looked back on and recorded on for you guys to be a point of letting go. I wanted to talk about this, but I thank you, Naomi, for sort of railing me back in here. The value of letting go. You guys have all messaged me stuff that you're dealing with, and I've never had a group give me that many paragraphs of like, this is what's happening. And usually people are just like, wealth, money blocks, bam, let's do this. And then I get people who are like, man, I started this thing and now I can't deal with this thing. And I'm like, man, that's so useful. Because and it is, I mean, some people were like, okay, too much information. For me, I'm like, keep it coming. Because the more you share, the more you unfold all of that. Sometimes I remember being a young teenager drinking and throwing up and being like, just get it out. You'll feel better when it's all out. And that's the same idea of going through experiences in life. Sometimes we're eating too much of it. We're drinking too much of it. We're taking in too much of that energy. The 333s over a 333, it's like an infinite vacuum that goes and just takes it all back out of you in a very loving, sweet, kind, and caring way that's absorbed around fun. So we're experiencing a dynamic right now that does not exist for another 10 years, 9 years. You guys are in a very specific spiritual moment. And if anybody can do the math, 3 threes is a 9. And if anybody can do the math, 6 threes is still a 9. So when we see all of these numbers, or it's 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. When we see this, like, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to define these numbers. You're going to get introduced to them all, 1 to 9. and as I said before, because you can't see the full picture of your name, just recognize that if I'm talking about a 6, and let's say Melissa Jane Haston has no 6s in here, right? So she's not experiencing any, but she's like, oh man, that feels just like me. It's probably because Jane shows up that way. Actually, Jane does. So perfect example, Jane will be a 663. It'll have a bunch of 6s in it. So just because you guys don't see it doesn't mean you're not going to learn from this. Doesn't mean just because you don't see it right up front doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. Doesn't mean it's not particular to you. But you can think to yourself, no right or wrong, does this thing serve me the way I want it to? Is this a number I want? Or get that thing away from me. I don't like that. I don't like that part about myself. If we're looking at red names and black names, there's a chance, in the exception of nutrition on the go, and that's it. There's an exception that these names are going to pull you into the negative, okay? Then there are some options for some of you who see your letters O, O, C, L, F, X, G, P, Y, S, the values that show up here that can take you into the positive mastery. But the negative severe challenge, the red names, the yellow names, these numbers are pulling to the negative. I'll introduce you to a number. Let's see if I have something I can quickly pull on as an example. And I can't. I don't have anything because I've got nothing to look at. My office is just miserable right now. So imagine that we have an object. And this object has a positive side to it, and it has a negative side to it. So a positive side to this would be that, oh, it's cool, it's pretty, it's nice, it's a nice little gemstone, right? It's nicely cut, it's somewhat translucent, you can kind of see through it, and it holds well in the hand, it's positive, right? Then the negative side of this is that it's got sharp edges. You could probably hurt somebody if you threw it at them. It's got pointy parts to it, and so there's a negativity to this as well. Every number does this. Every number has its day in the sun and its powerful part of it, and then every number has a negative side to it that works against you and that works to your challenge. And I'd like to think that like a problem is just a challenge or an opportunity waiting to be conquered. Some people see problems and they're like, oh my God, I have so many problems. And other persons will be like, oh my God, look at all these challenges and opportunities that I have that I can use to end up helping me grow. So I would suggest that just because something is in the negative doesn't mean it's bad, okay? Just because it shows up as a problem doesn't make you a problem. Just because your name doesn't work doesn't mean that there's a problem with you or that you're dealing with something. There is power inside of you guys, all of you, and you all have a very wonderful expression, whether you show up like this, like something that is a very distinguishable shape, or you could be something that's a bit more abstract, right? Like a bunch of different weird looking shapes all at once. Is there a right or a wrong? No. There are also some people who are going to be like me, fairly round. So the reality is that we're going to see that you guys get a chance to show up, whether you want to be sharp, round, particular, in order, chaotic. You're going to have a power to introduce yourselves or to really see yourselves in this. Would be a really good idea for those of you who find like-in numbers in others to create your own small little 2-man teams, 2-woman teams, or 3-person pod or accountability partners based on recognizing yourself in when I talk about someone else's number. Like if I'm talking to Sheena and, Virginia's like, oh my God, that's so me. You guys may have something to talk about. On the top end of this, speaking to the top end of this, Barbara, this message is for you. This message is for you, Bill. This is your team. This is your family. This is your group. So you knowing where your leaders are at, where your coaches are at, where your artists are at, where your engineers be at, where are my warriors, where are my leaders or my family people, where are my spiritualists, where are my entrepreneurs, and where are my philanthropists, where are my angels, and where are my master engineers. You're going to be able to know how to talk to these people and which version of them is going to be speaking most properly to you. You get a chance to look at this in a slightly different view and think at one moment, you're going to have a business that looks like this. And it's going to be like, boom, like these are power inside of this. This is Serena's group, Serena Larcombe. And then what about this? Whose was this one? I can't remember whose team this was now. But this group here, again, another really powerful, masterful group of people. You're going to get the same effect happening with your group as well. So I'm very blessed and super grateful and very thankful that you would put this together for your team, because you're all about to get spiritual haircuts and get spiritual outfits that are going to set you guys up for success. Some of us that take 3 years to figure themselves out. We've got problems with ourselves in certain directions. Be patient. Some of you guys who have dealt with me already are thinking, hey, I'm still dealing with stuff. I understand. And I can appreciate it. The way that I saw it was that for every 10 years might take you about a year to figure it yourself out. So for me, I found this at 31. So around the 3-year mark, I suddenly got my stuff together and everything started to come full fruition. So, I mean, is there a rhyme or reason? Not really. I would like to think that the older you are, the faster you can do it, just because you're better, wiser, and stronger. But at the same time, you have learning experiences to go through. You've got old debts, old energetic energy, old energetic value that in this moment or in this time, this 3 p.m., 3:33, this gateway, this cosmic vacuum, that you're able to push up to the front whatever it is that's not serving you and allow that shit to get washed right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to explain the value of numbers. And how am I doing for time? We're pretty good. Okay, we're actually pretty good. So hour 1, we basically get through most of the numbers. Hour 2, we really get into the names. And then depending on how many questions you all have, I don't mind to line up everything you got. But just ask 1 or 2 at a time, and then let's go into circulation, because I want to respect everyone's time. I understand that we're not here forever. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Okay, so just to start this off, because we're going to introduce numbers. Why not the number 3? Since this is a theme of this whole thing, and like this is like the number 3 is like a very powerful feel. So Mandy, Hilda, Mary, Julia. These are 3 numbers in name or in path. Or if you're born in March, we got any March babies? No. Yeah, we do. Or we have December. Naomi's going to be born in December. Then we got people born on the 3rd or the 30th or the 12th, or born in 1965 or 1974. And if I have made a mistake, guys, please just go and calculate your number to make sure, and then let me know in the chat or unmute yourself. It's no big deal. And we'll be able to go through that just in case I've made any kind of errors. These numbers are going to play, as I say, positive and negative. But the 3 is a powerful place to start, because the 3 is the value of 2019. So when we look at numerology, we look at it in your name, we look at it in your birthday, we look at it in the date, we look at it in address and phone number. So inside of a powerful session with each other, I can align everything, like driver's license, passport, your visas, your MasterCards, your bank account numbers, your telephone numbers. There are ways to line up your address, to line up the way that you look everywhere you go. For the single ladies out there, maybe you're Plenty of Fish or Tinder accounts. You want to find the right partner, and you just keep on finding the guys that always want to send you weird pictures. And you're just like, man, is there something wrong with me here? Perhaps maybe the name doesn't speak into long-term love the way you'd like it to. So we can line up literally everything. You can line up your kid's lunchbox. Okay, so or even if you want your kid to get good grades in school, tell them, just write this on your test when you put your test in. You write your name on there, like put that name on there, little Johnny or whatever his or her name is. It works, guys. It's a powerful mechanism to which the universe abides. Okay, so I find that this to be very powerful. But the 3 speaks of love. It speaks of joy. This is the entry point into love and joy. It's the beginning place of creativity. We see artists, we see painters, we see singers, we see dancers, we see people with a song, whether it be in poetry or writing or just wanting to have a good time. The 3 shows up as a wonderful feeling of, you know what, let's not be too serious right now. Let's just enjoy. These are going to be the prettier, the more, adorable, the ones who are closely attached to things like romance. They want to be having, powerful connections with, their partners. They want to enjoy, maybe they don't want to be loyal to one partner. They want to have a social atmosphere around romance. Nothing wrong with that. They just may feel like, I'm not there yet, or I'm too young for that, or I don't want to figure that out right now. That 3 shows up as a joyful, pleasurable, charming, charismatic, sharply dressed, quick wit, good sense of humor, feeling of love. So a lot of you 3s in here, with the 3s in your birthdays, it's another number that shows up a lot. You guys must be a lot of fun to hang out with. On the negative side of the 3, we have people who are going to serve others before they serve themselves. We'll have women who want to be moms but can't seem to get pregnant, or they want to have long-term relationships but they can't seem to get past the negative male energy or the negative female energy that doesn't quite serve them in long-term wealth or long-term love. If you've got a motive, or if you've got something powerful you're working on, you may be quick to shove it off the table as soon as someone comes in with a problem and they need you to help them. You're just gonna, don't worry about me. It's all good. Oh no, I don't worry about me. Let me help you. And so the negative side of the 3 can be very disastrous, because here we have an artist, a singer, a sweetheart, someone who's very loving. And then on the other side, they're giving up on what's important to them so that someone else can feel good about themselves or whatever. And this can affect you in very, very many different levels. But at the nice level that a lot of you have this 3 in your birthday, it also keeps you young. So you guys may not be getting older faster. It can also show up as a bit immature or a bit joyful or playful, maybe not taking itself too seriously. So the 3 is a number that we'd like to have it, and I use it. If you guys see here, hold on, I'm just going to try to move this out of the way. See if I can move this out of the way. Got this here. Just want to quickly close that down. Some of you guys see this. I'm using 3s. Okay, so there are certain numbers that you can use a 3 in, but not many. Most of them have a 6. Most of them have a 6 or an 8, and some of them have other numbers in them. I try to stay away from 4s sometimes, but the 3s do show up. So we have a very powerful number that's showing up in here. So when I'm talking about this as the entry point first number we talk about, why not recognize that 2019 is a year for this? 2019 is a year for having fun. It's a year for your artistic expression. It's a year for you to build your brand based on the love and the care and the joy, as opposed to the really strong, hard-headed, or the feeling of got to stay focused, or obviously you got to stay focused. This is business. Obviously you got to have a strong head on your shoulders. I get it. But the 3 wants you to dance your way to it. It wants you to sing your way to it. So if you guys want to build a really powerful business page, I wouldn't be very surprised if the people who are successful share non-business stuff on their page. So karaoke night, it's a perfect post. You with a microphone, taking a selfie at the karaoke bar, and you post it on your business page being like, a little look into my life. This is what we do. Or maybe you're connecting with your kid and you're just playing chess with a 4-year-old and they don't know what they're doing, and you're just taking a sweet pose to be like, oh, that's so cute. Look, they're playing with their kid. You sharing children, or sharing your love life, or sharing the romance of what you're doing, or the fun, the joy of community. These are bits and pieces that 2019 is going to be looking for. When we look at the years, they go from 1 to 9. So we're in a seeding phase. This is the last year for seeds to be planted. Next year is hard work. So for anyone who's like, oh God, I can't stand that dancing stuff. Give me the details, man. I want to get into the raw data of this. The 4 shows up next year, 2020. So there's going to be a time to work. But anybody who went to the Freedom Fest, you notice how there was a time for the person speaking on stage and telling you what was going on and explaining to you a training or a workshop. And then there was the full expression party where you guys were having a lot of fun. There was building of the love, and then there's also learning of the method. The 2019 year is a building of the love. So if anyone wants a quick little thing to do this year, build your brand and make it fun so that people fall in love with you in a good way. So this could be that some of you guys advertise to your gender only, or that you advertise to couples only, or, you know, let you maybe stay away from the opposite sex because it can get kind of hairy out there. No pun intended. So that feeling can show up inside of social media where you may want to just appreciate people who are on your level or on your vibe. So when we're looking at the 3, we're having fun. Okay, that's the big motion of the 3. Inside of the love house, 3, 6, and 9, baby love, mama love, grandmother love. So we see 3 being the right now, let's have fun. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's just have fun right now. That's a gift and a curse. Let's go to the number now, and now let's introduce the numbers. So starting with the number 3, then we're going to go to the number 1. So we see number 1s. Who's got a 1 in their chart? January. Praneen's going to have lots of 1s because she got both 1s there. And then we also see 1s showing up for Praneen again and again. Also for Chrysanthis showing up there as well. In Viva Health for Viva Health and Wealth, Mandy Spooner. Melissa's got a really powerful set of 1s in her chart. Life Path 1 and Name Path 1. When I'm looking at this number, I look at this. Vowels plus consonants equal the total. So when I look at a 3-digit version of me or version of you, the 1 in your chart, Melissa, shows up from your birthday. It shows up in October. And then when I take E, I, A, E, A, O, I add them all together, it equals out to 1 eventually. When I take M, L, S, S, J, N, E, H, Y, T, N, it equals out to 9. When I add up 1 plus 9, it equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. There are certain places where I will keep the double digit, like 11, 22, 22, 11, because they're mastery numbers. And they do show up sometimes here, but I didn't want to get too confusing. So I'm just going to leave that for now. But when we look at the 1s, who else has 1? Penny, Michelle, Rourke has 1. Peter William Reed has 1. And then where was it? Naomi Christine Kellner Reed has 1. The 1s stand up for leadership. Okay, so we're talking about the premier number of ego, the I am presence. The 1 is the version of you that separates yourself from the universe. The 9 reconnects you to the universe. So as we take this journey from 1 to 9, it's like a journey around a clock. And then when you get back to the top again, you basically get back to God. But your journey goes away from God, like the single cell splits into 2, and now there's a 1, another 1, and that makes 2, and then it splits again and becomes 4, and it continues going on. But the 1 is the expression of the self. So we have independent people, like Praneen's numbers are 1 and 1. This person is going to be in charge, and she wants to be in control of self. Okay, so that feeling is going to be there where we see that vibration of leader, independent, and wants to get on their own and wants to be on their own. There are other numbers in Praneen's chart that show up with a 6. So, of course, Praneen's also going to have a value of parent and partner and love and caring. But as a 1, Praneen's in charge. As a 1, Julia wants to have a lot of control for herself. Okay, what about Naomi as well? She's dealing with 1s in her chart. We have 1s that show up that are going to either isolate you or help you stand up to the front of the room and be a leader. On the positive side of this, people want to follow you. On the negative side of this, nobody wants to follow you because you're focused on the self. On a negative side of the 1, we have Celeste Woods. This is going to be like an emergency number, 911. In North America, we dial this to call police. We dial this to call police and ambulance, 191. This can be overloaded of containment of taking care of the universe through the ego and through the sense of self, where we have Melissa Jane, look at that. Mom's looking at Naomi being like, see? And we have this value showing up there that says, we're going to sacrifice ourselves for this. This is superhero. And we have those numbers showing up as a severe challenge because they end up taking the brunt of the blade, or they get burned, or they're sacrificing themselves. And I get it. We show up this way. This is the reality of what our names look like. When I look at a number 1 in strength, we see that they're not afraid to stand up on top of the room. They're not afraid to say something powerful. They're not afraid to tell people what's truly on their mind or what's truly on their soul. And they're not worried about the details. They don't need to do everything themselves. They're going to help enlist other people. They're going to enlist their weaknesses. These are leaders. Remember, they don't do everything themselves. They don't need to. They're entrusted with the vision. So they want to know that they've got it, okay? And this is a very strong checking back in with the sense of self. Then we have the negative side of the one, which can end up moving into being too self-centered or feeling like we're not considering other people. In respect to the 911 or the 191, probably not going to happen. They're probably going to slap themselves for being selfish, and that's not a good thing either, because the balance in the one should be a balance in being selfish, and as well as balancing out being there for others. So the ones in negative can be a bit of a troublesome number to deal with. It can almost feel like the weight of the world is on you. Okay, so this shows up inside of the number one, in case you have it. Moving along, and if there are any questions about any of these numbers, you let me know. This isn't just the end all be all. When I look at a number, I look at what number is close next to it. Like in this case, a 1 and a 9 and a 1 put together, it's a severe challenge. But in Praneen's case, 7 and 1 put together is a powerful number, because 8 is the number for wealth. When we have the love number, we see 3 is 1 heart. Okay, then we see 6 is going to be hearts times 2. And then when we see nines, we'll see 9 is going to be hearts times 3. So there's basically 3 hearts inside of this. When we see wealth, we see 4 equals $1 sign, 6 equals $2 signs, equals $2 signs, and then 8 equals $3 signs. So if I'm ending on an 8 or it's balanced, we have a value that says this number is going to work for wealth. We have a 6 in there. It also matches the number 6 inside of the money. So it's the most perfectly balanced number for money and wealth. So in case we see these numbers, this is why I'm using them. This is why it shows up this way. So when we see a number that ends in 8, this number is great. The 1 is good. The ego's not getting ahead of Praneen's self. There's a power of calm. There's a philosophical side. There's a power to go deep within to God. There's a power to connect. This is a good number 8 and a good number 7 and a good number 1. Born this way, Praneen Pallister Doyayak. But then when we see it showing up inside of like Facebook, it has no 6, no 8, no giant money or no powerful wealth or powerful love. It's only the universal connection to other people and ultimate self-sacrifice when we see Praneen Kawang. So this is what we're taking a look at. And I'm assuming Kawang's a married name? Good. Okay. Powerful. Okay, so what we're taking a look at is a change in your vibration when you move into that. But you go back to Praneen Doyayang Kawang, and it actually looks very similar to Pallister Doyayang. So you're back good. The problem with this number is that it's not very social. So you may feel a bit more independent or a bit more quiet or just wanting to stick to the side a little bit. And whereas you're like, man, I wish I could just say something more and I want to do some more stuff because the 6 wants to communicate. So we'll talk about that as we get there. This is the combination of how numbers connect with each other. The other connection is this, is that you may have one number that shows up, but you're dealing with 2 numbers at any given moment of your life, depending on how old you are. So if you're 27 to 0 to 27, would be like, what, 1989 or younger or something, or 1992 or younger or something like that. You're dealing with your month plus your birth path. If you're in the middle section of your life, you're dealing with the day and your life path. If you're 55 and onward and you're in your wisdom stage, you're dealing with the 3rd number plus your life path. So right now, I'm in a 1 over 11. Before, I was in a 6 over 11. When I become an old man, I'll be a 22 over 11. So there are different combinations of how numbers show up. It gets really technical. And just so anybody's asking, I do actually offer a mastery course. I'll be doing one in March. It's a 4-day feel where we get together for like 3 hours a day, like 12 hours altogether. And I teach you how to do this. Just in case you're like, holy smokes, I need to know this language. Anyway, so back to the 1. We've covered it. It's a powerful number. We show up in power. We're taking a look at Praneen when we look at it in power. And then when we look at it in its absence of power, we see things like Celeste, which are going to be like ultimate sacrifice to other people. Who's got another 1 that's not working? Sheena Chu. maybe quiet, but when she comes up with a funny joke, she'll definitely say it, and she wants to be independent and in control. Penny Michelle Rourke, this is going to be a powerful business name that it ends up squeezing herself out. Okay, so there's a power inside of that doesn't get a chance to express itself. It's more frustrated because it knows it can do right, but it ends up sacrificing itself and ends up not in the place it wants to be. Luckily, she's running Penny Michelle, so these names balance back out, but we see that these numbers can show up. Okay, number 2. My favorite, well, not one of my, well, one of my favorites. I'm a life path 2. 11s also go down into 2 if you keep adding them, but we have a life path 2, don't we? Who was it? Svenja has a life path 2. Celeste has a 2 name. Celeste Marie Woods, okay? The 2s are partners. Cecile Ann Lillian Florence Burton also has 2s in her chart. Who else has got 2s in there? I think that's about it. Hilda Tonnevold. She has, you got 2 in your chart as well. And then we see some people born with 2s on the 2nd, born in February, born on 1973. This value of 2 is partnership, coach, connection, ability to work with others, diplomatic. You guys are tactful. The 2 wants to see a win-win-win, doesn't want to have anybody lose. And if anybody loses, it'll be me. I'll sacrifice myself. I'll be the sacrificial lamb. I will be the one that will take the brunt and the pain. The 2 wants to keep everything at balance at a sake of itself. So we see people who have got great ideas. What do you think? And then the person they tell them to is like, that idea sucks. And then we're like, oh, yeah, you're right. It does suck, doesn't it? And we lose our sense of self right quick as soon as someone else comes in and tells us our way it's supposed to be. I'm like this with my wife. I want to please her. I want to make her happy. And when she's upset with me, everything is wrong in my world. And it's just this tough thing. And I'm getting coaching and I hired mentors and people are like, you need to take your nuts back, bro. You got to take, I'm like, ouch, I do, don't I? And that, because the problem is the 2 in my chart wants to please people. This is why I sucked at sales. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're such a good salesperson. I'm like, correction, sir. If I was a good salesperson, we would be doing the deal right now. Instead, I'm letting you walk because my pride is stronger than my ability to make a sale. And this was me in car sales. It doesn't work. But when we have to shake a hand, you can trust that. When we want to be a friend, you can trust that. We want to connect with other people and we feel their pains. We feel what's going on with others because that's our nature. So on the positive side, great friend, super loyal. On the negative side, take the self kick. Sorry, that was supposed to be a kick. We kick ourselves away. And we're basically just sacrificing ourselves for the greater good. So not a bad look. If you're using it in balance, on spot on with the 2, Hilda. Thank you. I appreciate that. But it shows up, like my last name is a 268. Okay, these numbers, 246, 426, 268, 628, they work. There are people who are like, man, I'm going to be an advisor. I'm going to be a GAS advisor, or I want to be a coach, or I'm going to be a partner. I'm going to work with the person in my team. I'm going to be there side by side. If you got 2s, you're probably using words like link arms with me, or let's do this together. I'm right there with you. There's no, I'm better than you. It's like, let's be together with this. So even with me, I have a side that's like that. I'm like, guys, I'm just a human being. Like, relax. But then there's the other part, the 11, speaks into the mastery side of the 2, which says, I'm gonna teach you something. I'm gonna teach you something real. I'm gonna share with you some power and some spiritual power. I will divine that onto you because the mastery version of the 2 wants to teach. So you're born in November, or you're born in on the 29th, or you've got an 11 life path, or something shows up as 11 in your chart. It's no longer 2 buddies. It's now the mentor and the mentee, or the person learning and the teacher, or the leader and the student. There's a feeling there that says there's the doctor and the patient. There's a connection force of teaching and growing inside of there that we pay for through negativity in relationships. It's just the reality of what we have to go through. Barbara knows this. She's born in November. And even Praneen knows this, that January 19, that's an 11-22. That shows up as a really powerful vibration. But there's a significance inside of the 11 that we get to see. that says that we're going to deal with the difficulty in relationship up front. And then that way we understand our power and our worth when we have to go and actually help other people. We know what we're talking about. So this is the 2, and then it's also the 11. We covered the 3. So let's talk about the 4. April babies, 1975. Do we have one? 1993, the 22nd. Kirsty Ann Halliday, Cecile Ann Lillian Florence Burton. The 4s, or Katharina Chrysanthi, that one's tough. Or KiraSoskind.com. Rainbows are everywhere with Marianne. The 4s and showing up in those versions, they are tough numbers because they'll work, and they'll work real hard. The 4s that show up, they are hardworking people. They're not afraid to follow the steps. They got their notepads out. They're ready to go, and they want the details. They want to know all of the data. They want to figure out exactly what's going on. They're skeptical, but maybe open-minded sometimes. But there's going to be a level of like, how do you know this? Like, where did you get this from? And the feeling of wanting to go deeper and understanding the idea of having a very strong connection to education will be very, very powerful. So if you've got a strong negative or a yellow 4 inside of your chart right now, and you're here with us, give yourself a huge pat on the back for getting over yourself and starting a business. Because the 4 is that nagging thing in your mind that says, you can't do this. It's not for people like you. Nobody wants to listen to you. Go get a job. And you're just like, oh man, I just want to be an entrepreneur. Like, screw this. I just want to be an entrepreneur. And the 4 is like, you can't. You don't know what that's like. You want to work. Like, when we're looking at the entry point into money, we're seeing a value here that works for money. Money is based on time. Thanks, Bobby. Makes me laugh. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the 4 is, I'll give you my PayPal for tips. Just kidding. So what we're doing here is the 4 says, I'm going to work hard for money. It's got a linear experience towards everything. So if a 4 wants to make more money, guess who's picking up extra shifts? Guess who's working overtime, or wants to get promoted, or wants to work really, really hard? Because the 4 says that's how you do it. You get up, you get down, you work, and you build that farm. You figure it out, and you work hard. Another really powerful thing that's written on your tombstone, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. And this is the reality of what 4s will show up with, because they don't trust other people with their BS. They were like, I'm here on time, ready to go, wide-eyed. I'm going to figure this out, and I'm not afraid to read, listen to books, audios, and things like that. I got a tip for you guys. If you got 4s in your chart, and for those of you who don't, are like, man, I need that level of stability. I need that level of structure. Just think, if you don't have a 4, there are people out there who are wishing they had the discipline that you have. Okay, and 22s, you're there too, Praneen. You're there too, Naomi, okay, myself included. We want to stay organized. So grab your book, your notepad, and get another one. My books are here now. Get another book, like a notepad, and make a list of things that you need to do that day. A top 10 list of things that are important to you. Top 10 list of things you're grateful for. Top 10 list of things you're working on. Itemize the things that are happening in your life that will keep you organized. You're going to be like, oh man, that feels so good. That feels so good. I can see it all. I've got it all there. I figured it out. I understand. I get it. I know where I'm at. I'm not, like fighting myself on a weird level. I get a chance to actually learn about where I'm organized. Suddenly that calculator brain of ours isn't stuck driving the vision of your soul, which is a really difficult place to be in, because that's what keeps us safe. We're like, oh, I got a backup plan. If this thing doesn't work out, I got a job. I'm just going to stay. So if you've left your job as a 4, or you're not working, or you're just full on in this business, you either deserve a really strong accolade, or you have a lot of other really powerful numbers that are pulling you into the other direction. But we're safe with you. We're safe with you. There's a wonderful feeling of stability, foundation, structure, practical. Okay, like you guys are not messing around. You're not trying to, think about the answer and, oh God, just give me the answer. It's like, all right, we'll turn to page so-and-so and Google this and figure it out and learn it. And now you know it. So people trust your work. Okay, this is the wonderful part of the 4. The negative side of the 4 is that you guys can be a little mean. Okay, you can be a little disconnected and just be like, I'm sick and tired of your shit. I'm out of here. And like that feeling of the 4, it'll get walked on. So no wonder if you get a little mean, it's in response to the fact that you're getting taken advantage of because you're the floor to which people walk all over. And that 4 can also be like emotionless. Like we'll talk about some of the more emotional love numbers, the 3, the 6, the 9, the loving, caring feel. The 4 is kind of like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. The 4 is like, just, it's logical. Like, why are you staying with this guy if he keeps doing this to you? And then the loving number's like, well, because he's got such a lovely beard and look at him, he's so beautiful. And the 4 is like, look, if it doesn't work, then what are you doing with yourself? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, logically speaking is probably one of the most powerful ways you're going to start your sentence. Or like, I'm just going to be honest. And that feeling is like you're preparing someone for a sharp cut into who they are. So I like the 4s. I absolutely love the 4s. My wife is a life path 4. Nothing would get done without her. And I'd like to say nothing gets done without me because I'm doing all the stuff. But at the same time, she makes me do stuff. And I absolutely want to do stuff for her. So when she shows up with a 4, I'm appreciative that she creates a stable home around us. Otherwise, without her, I wouldn't have kids. I wouldn't be able to do this without her. So absolutely appreciate the 4 in case you have it. And my heart goes out to you because I understand how difficult it is. Now, rainbows are everywhere with Marianne, KiraSosKind.com. Those 4s do not speak entrepreneur. So when you use them to try to attract entrepreneurs, they're going to see it. They're going to be like, ugh, that's so much hard work. I got to get out of here. And nobody wants to take that, I'm going to work super freaking hard vibration. They all want like rainbows are everywhere. Let's just enjoy and have some fun. Now, with the exception of KiraSosKind.com, you may not be telling everybody, go to KiraSosKind.com. Like KiraSosKind.com, like that's my vibe. That's who I am. I'm just going to quickly check and see, does that work if we go with like www. Okay, so let me just see www.kirasoskind.com. It doesn't. Okay, what about AU? No, it doesn't. So if we could, that is wrong. Can you tell me? Can you tell me what it's supposed to be? And let me know what oh no, yes, see, Kirsty Soskind is here, but the domain name, see, now if the domain name, let's just check it, can't be reached. Okay, so either I've got the name wrong. Yeah, that's not the, so maybe we can, if you want, we can try to put in a different name. So like if I just do this, then we can just run it like that. Okay. And if you want to balance out your domain name, you can, but that pays attention too. So when I pick a website, www.bobbyfperryhard.xyz, I actually have to have www and xyz to make the whole thing balanced. So just so you understand that we can't just take a web page and not use it. But at the same time, you can hide those things now. You can just call it click here and not even show people what your website is. And if you put it on a business card and everything else balances out, you may not be so critical on yourself to find the right domain name. I mean, I'd like to think that the level 4 numerology is like you have every single thing. Like this is what Balaj does. He calls me. He's like, dude, okay, new business, new LTD or new incorporation or whatever. Like, what's it look like? And we literally balance out absolutely every single detail. In my case, with us in a group setting, it's probably a little bit too much to go that far in. But I think I got the website wrong anyway. So I appreciate you there for Kirsty for letting me know that that's incorrect. But Kirsty on Holiday, still 48448.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. So that's her Facebook. It's the Facebook page is Kirsty Suskind, but it's
I haven't really got a proper domain
yeah,
yet.
it's not a domain name. It's
So you guys don't have a domain yet.
Oh, what happened here? It just I'm gonna refresh so I can see the name. It's facebook.com/Kira Suskind.
Kira Suskind. Okay, yeah,
that's the shortcut to the page.
But that's not a domain. It's a
Kira Suskind it's Kirsty Suskind @Kira Suskind.
That's fine. And just so you know, Kira Suskind is actually pretty good. So it's not bad. It's a good backup, like a second layer. It's kind of like you build a cake. You want your cake to have a plate, right? You can't just have a cake and then put it on a toothpick. unless you have a cake pop, that's different. But if you have a cake, you want a plate, you want a platter, it can't have a crack in it. It can't be broken. So the same thing when we have a name like this that says Kursi Soskine, the cake is a little wobbly, but the plate underneath it, Kira Soskine, is actually not bad. Okay, so you're okay there. But we will still want to balance this out with some kind of letter somewhere. And we get a chance to talk about that when we get into the letter part of this. But back to the 4. If we have any questions, let me know. I love the 4s. I appreciate you guys. Give you guys appreciation against all of the other frustrations you're probably dealing with in your life. Let's talk about the 5. So we had stability in the 4. 5 says chaos. It doesn't want to be stable. It wants to just like looks at all the pop cans and wants to shake them all up. It'd be like, serves you for drinking pop. And just shakes them, and just wants to create a mess. And that's not a bad look. Some people are very abstract. Okay, we got Cecile's a life path 5. Barbara's a life path 5. This woman's got woman in motion. How about Katharina's got a name path 5? That's a very difficult 5. Okay, Virginia also has a 5. In business, this is a hole in your wallet. Unless it ends with an 8, we are like, no. It's the opposite of wealth. Okay, the problem with the 5 is that, oh my God, I've got a flaming dollar in my pocket. It's burning a hole. I got to spend it. Or, oh, I made $1. Quickly, let's go spend $2. Or, oh, I really don't need that. Okay, fine, give me 2. And it's like we're on the opposite end of wealth. The 5 is an experiential version, wants to travel, wants to fight, wants to be in the front. This is an ambition. This is a power that is not to be fricked with. Okay, I'm Canadian. I don't like to swear. I know you guys are all about the swear words. But for me, I'm like a little bit more like, okay, good. Thank you. So the 5 wants to absolutely go passion and forward and movement, and we don't want to sit still. Okay, so there's a power inside of movement and adventure that we get a chance to see a really powerful version of the 5 standing up for others. So we have your leader is a 5. Okay, we got Barbara here as a life path 5, which means that she's got a powerful connection to care for others and to work for others and to do for others. If any of you guys are having a problem, oh man, you just message her and she's going to whip out her blade and she's going to fight whoever's in front of whoever's attacking you. This is like no fear. Okay, like she just wants to run for you guys. At the same time, and we have anybody born in May? No May babies. But we do have life path 5s, and I don't think I see 5s anywhere else in anyone's birthday. Here we go. Mandy's born on the 5th, and then Melissa's born on 1976. So there's parts and versions of your life, guys, that may show up as a bit of a challenge or a bit of an issue to stabilize, especially when we see this showing up in a business name. This can be problematic for wealth because it wants to spend. It doesn't want to accumulate. It doesn't want to settle. It wants everything to keep moving. Oh, it's like get the dollar, spend the dollar, have a dollar, take a dollar. It wants to keep energy moving, which is tough when we want to show up for business. So special mentions to Hilda May or Barbara Y. Reed, Success Designer. 2 amazing names combined together equal out to Master Warrior. So it could be a bit of a difficulty to run that. You could put Barbara Y. Reed, Success Designers with an extra S at designer, or Barbara Y. Reed's Success Designer. Okay, so you could apostrophe Reed, or you could put plural designer, and you're back on track. But otherwise, take one or the other out, and we'll talk about that when we get to business names. But if you're dealing with a 5 in your business name, either that or Hilda, it's not good. And then your Facebook called name, Cecile, I feel you, girl. I know Cecile Burton Shane. I have that number, 527-257. That's a self-attack. The 5 on the inside of a number that doesn't talk, it's going to be like the brewing volcano on the inside that it barely erupts. It just implodes. Virginia Facio, another 5 in there that shows up. Melissa Haston, another 5 that shows up in the negative. And then Bill Kellner Reed, quiet, strong, kind of silent guy, unless you get him wild up, and then he'll evoke the power within him, and suddenly it's like, whoa, where'd you get that voice from, big guy? Because the 7 wants to stay nice and quiet and calm, but then the 5 wants to go out and fight something and absolutely go and challenge. So there could be a quiet side to him and then a powerful side to him that may be a little bit imbalanced inside of Bill Kellner Reed. But when he goes Dr. Bill K. Reed, like, oh man, that's the most powerful mastery balance of them all. So we're going to take a look at that when we get there. But my heart goes out to you. This number was self-attack, negative relationship with the self, and nobody knows. Nobody knew. Like, I'm like, ugh, I really want to change this before I get married because I don't want my marriage certificate to say this name on it. As much as I love it, I want to put something else in there so that it doesn't mess up my life, which it has been my whole life. And ever since I've been going by Bobby F. Perihar, things have been going pretty damn good. I've got a really beautiful son. You guys see me totem on my Facebook page. I got a haughty little wife, and I got a bunch of cute little kids, and I love my life now. I do this for a living. I help people become better. So, I mean, changing my name took me out of drugs, out of negative areas and really negative spaces spiritually to a really powerful balanced place that I get a chance to use. I do carry 5s inside of business names. In case anybody does want to take it, you have a letter there to choose from. It's not a bad look, but I'll tell you something. A 5 in business doesn't last. It grows. So there's a growing version. The 5 experiences growth and change, and it wants to fulfill. So if we see 4s are the roots, 5 is the shoot of the tree that starts to grow and wants to go up. So if you've got a 5 on there, then you may be quick to be like, oh, hell no, girl. And just like get out there and start fighting things and say what's important to you and absolutely not take anything sitting down. Or parents with a 5 may want to fight their kids' battles for them or fight for the greater good or fight for what's right. They may not like it when people are getting bullied or if people are getting sick or someone's getting taken advantage of. A 5 will be like, excuse me, you do not do that to my people. They want to stand up for what's right and they're not afraid to throw the first punch. Okay, unless there's some other numbers in there that make you super quiet. But 5s, love it. Love, love, love them. They're very, very powerful and super adventure types. They don't need a plan. They just want to run. They just want to explode and throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Okay, so this is a powerful version inside of the 5. Could also lead into heavy drinking, heavy eating, negative habits around sex, whatever it is that shows up, or even just self-harm. Okay, so just in case that shows up or I'm calling anybody out, I appreciate you guys for that, okay? What about the 6? The most perfect number of all. The 6 is my favorite because I'm born in June. I hold it in my name. It says family. It says long-term love. It says long-term wealth. This number 6 shows up as a value of balance. It shows up here inside of Love House. And then after it's done going into the Love House, it goes into the money house. I lost my chat, so I just want to make sure that I can still see it. Where am I? Okay, pulling it back out. Sorry, I accidentally closed the chat instead of somebody else comes in. And let's go back to the share. Let's go back into the share. Okay, so does Penny Michelle Schultz have a 5 in it? Sounds kind of like it. Let's see. I know we did your chart. So I'm just going to quickly take a look here and see where it looks like and see where the 5 is inside of you. Penny, right there. Okay. And also inside of, I'm not sure what this one was. I think this might be your full name, Penny Michelle Schultz. Looks like this. Okay. So there's like master fighter inside of there. So you do have a lot of 5 runaway 5 inside of your chart. So yes, you are experiencing that. Absolutely. Now, where are we? 6. Equal parts money, equal parts love. There is heart in here. There is money in here. There is parent in here. There is balance. Imagine the 1 being right in the gut on the chakra 1, the base, and then 9 being, or 11s and mid-22s being all the way up top. 6 is the most center point of all of the numbers, okay? So we see a value in that, and you look at this, it's the equal part. So we see a number here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, someone wrote me a lot. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. 6 is the center of all things, okay? The 6 wants to keep the balance. We have Pranine, Virginia, Penny. Life past 6, you make excellent moms, excellent partners. very balanced. The problem will be the balance for self, okay? The balance for self-love, the taking care of yourself first. A mom, take care of herself first. How dare she call herself a mother if she's going to take care of herself first? She has to take care of her babies and her husband and her family and possibly her mother and everyone else, because that's the value of balance. It's the value of leader. And I love the number, but when it shows up in the negative, who's got a -6? Virginia's going to have a self fight. Celeste is going to have a fight to the self. Barbara's going to be over loving and giving so much more love to others than she does to herself, at least in the past, before Reed came along. What about in your names? Again, Virginia, same one you're using. Marianne Taylor experiences this as well. Hilda May experiences the lack of self-love. And then we have all of these wonderful, loving 6s in these charts. Like, look at these people. This is good. This looks really powerful. Where we get to see wonderful 6s in tow, but where we get a chance to see this, we see the 6s will wreak havoc on the self. They'll get sad, depleted, feeling lonely, or feeling like nobody gets me, or where's mine? How come I'm always taking care of everyone else and I never get mine taken care of? And opposed to somebody, let's say like Penny, who's like, I feel like I got that 5. So I got that 5 in there because I feel pretty like I want to fight right now. If that 6 goes unchecked, which it does, she may be a little bit more angry about the fact that, hey, where's mine? I'm always taking care of everybody else. I'm always doing this thing, holding it all down. Well, what the hell? What about me? Where does mommy get some for her? And that can show up inside of that 6 when it's accounted next to a really powerful number, or in some numbers, which I don't think anybody has, this 617 or 167. Can show up as a value of like, no, it's okay. No, I didn't really want it anyway. And I'm just going to stay quiet. I'm not really going to say anything. But it hurts inside when I go to my room and I quietly cry into my pillow and nobody knows. And that feeling of quiet hurt can be in there. Okay. So we're going to see that this 6 is a powerful tool for balance or an extreme tool for sacrifice. I have seen the sacrifice of it. Bobby is a sacrificial 6, so it's a -6. I balance it back out by Bobby at Perry Harp, okay? So what we'll do is we'll appreciate the fact that the 6 is the most perfect number. I use it the most. I named my son by a master 6. When we see 696, 966, you guys see them here. If this is where it is inside of our time or inside of our chart, I'm just going to quickly pull it together to make sure I've got it. The 696 and the 966, they say queen, king. This says God. Okay, so there's a power inside of the value that these things show up in when they're good. When they're not so good, my heart goes out to you because not only are you very, very loving, but you're giving all of your own self-love away while you're at it. So it's not a very powerful feel. Also, when you guys are doing this kind of thing, what was it? I'm gonna lean on this. I'm gonna quickly just unshare for a second, and I'm gonna pull out another site for you so that you guys can see a way to calculate names. Okay, when we talk about names, this one is like you can do this for yourself as well. I'm just gonna quickly open this up, and I didn't wanna just blast my private conversations everywhere, so I stopped the sharing. Let's go back to the share. So this site, professionalnumerology.com/free-numerology-calculator.html, mouthful, right? Posting it in the chat. It's on the recording, so you don't need to worry about getting it all right there and then. But it does the same thing. Okay, so I take a look at Bobby, and Y is always a consonant. I never use it as a vowel, but it shows up as 6. It should be a 4 or a 1. Oh yeah, Pythagorean. What am I doing? 641. Hold on. Let me just see this again. 641. Okay, so I click on to make sure it's Pythagorean, and there's 2 different terms of numerology, and I see the vowels are 6, the consonants equal 4, and then it totals out to 1. So this is an imbalanced vibration by my first name. Okay, you can test any name by this. I'm also coming out with my own app, so I will have an app for you guys. Crazy, right? You guys get to calculate all your own stuff and figure it out on your own, so you won't need me anymore. But the reality is that you're going to absolutely have a way to use this calculator for yourselves by looking at how these numbers look in. if it says things like, I don't know, just because I know it, Alex should be a total. This thing isn't working properly. I'm not sure what I'm missing, but I think that this site doesn't work very well because it miscalculates it. So it should show up as a 6. Okay, bad example. I'm trying to find a site that works for you guys, but seeing as I don't have one, you guys have to wait for my app. Who's using Android? I'll share, at least share that with you. If you're using Android and you've got an Android device, there is a app out there already, the one that I use, and it's called Chaldean Numerology Calculator. Looks like this. I'm going to quickly unshare so you guys can see it. So if anybody wants to follow along and see this app, it doesn't exist in Apple. So if you're using an Apple, I should have got a Samsung. So there's a valuable like a app here that I use, and when I get in there, I basically just click again on Pythagorean and I just write out the word. And I write out the word, and then it comes up with the value of what it is. The total should equal out to an 8 or a 6. And I try to avoid 4s when possible, okay? So in case you guys want to follow along or you want to do your own calculations, more than able to do that. And I'll just quickly put in the Token Rock one, because that way you guys can at least have that. tokenrock.com/numerology. I'm all about sharing the tools. Oh, sorry. I did this to Katharina privately, so you guys didn't actually get the page. Okay, so hold on. There's one. And then here's the other one for the names. That really doesn't even work properly. So these are the two sites that I use. Actually, I use the app. So it's called Chaldean Numerology Calculator. Don't use it without me. I mean, unless you really know what you're doing, it can get pretty scary. This is your life you're dealing with, guys. This isn't a game. Even though it looks pretty cool, this is a pretty serious deal, okay? So 6s, wonderful number. Appreciate you guys. The 7s, come forth. Actually, just kidding. You obviously don't want to come forth because the 7s are going to be super shy, and they're going to be a little bit more calm. They're going to be like, I want to sit in the back a little bit. And we see that these, and if you have one and you're kind of like, I'm not shy, it's because there's other 30 numbers in your chart. So just because you have one doesn't mean that it's going to be the end all be all. Okay, so just understand that the 7 is going to stay connected spiritually. There's going to be a power inside of the 7. Born in July, Brian, these are intuitive people. Like my dad was born in July. He just knows. Even if he doesn't know something, you can ask him something and he'll have an answer for you anyway. Like you just know stuff. The 7 is absolutely going to be strong in wisdom, and it's also going to be strong in non-linear thinking. So you're not going to 1 + 1 + 1 +, you're like, you know what, it's 5. Just trust me. And then you do the math. How did you know that? It's because I just know stuff. And you get the divine callings. And so numbers like 7, if they're overloaded in your chart, like in Jody or Peter, it may be tough to find peace in social versions of religion. Some people are very religious in their faith. Some people are very spiritual. Some people are looking at religion and being like, that's not real. It's not the right thing. Like there's a bigger experience with God, that people are just Sunday Christians and they don't actually connect inward. They're just afraid in the fear of God. They don't experience the power within them. So they can have a bit of their nose in the air to certain things or certain people or certain saying of stuff. They're very wise and they listen. So we see these numbers like Svenya's number 797, Jody Ashcroft, born on July, Celeste Mary Woods is born on the 7th. There's power inside of these numbers that give you guys a stronger third eye open. Okay, so this is a little bit more muted at the voice, but then more powerful at the vision. So you guys are really good at things like meditation or connecting or really powerful versions of reading other people's minds. Like Bill doesn't say, if he maybe doesn't say very much, he knows exactly what's going on. Like he's in it, he knows. And that feeling of being connected is in there. So we see that shows up inside of the 7s. If you have it, you're lucky in that regard. But then you're probably challenged to speak. It can be tough to find the right words. It can be difficult. Oh man, I just wish I could go live. I wish I could go and say that thing. How does Bobby do it? He just keeps on talking. Man, he's just so confident. And there's another part of us that's thinking, I wish I could just find the voice or find the words or find what I need to say. I can see it in my mind. It's haunting my vision, but I can't seem to go out there and actually make the communication happen. This is where the 7 gets into too tough. If you're dealing with a red 7 or a black 7, that is a kiss of death in your business page. It is very, very difficult to run a business like that. So if you've got it here, it's social media, being social, media, broadcasting. If you've got a 7 in there, you're probably like, yeah, I got a Facebook, but I don't really use it. I don't really care about it. It's no big deal. Like, it just doesn't want to, because it's just like, I'm just going to be a lot quieter about this instead of, experiencing it. I want to read this, but I don't want to get too far without this. Christy and Brian, you're putting out a lot there. When I get past the numbers, I'm going to dive into this. So I'm going to put this on cue. So as soon as we get into, we're almost done. After the 9, we'll basically, we'll pick up with that, and then we're going to start with questions. Okay. So we've got the number 7 being the holdup in the communication aspect. Okay. So we have a very powerful feeling in there. Does a sequence of numbers pay relevance in how our personal characteristics play out? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you want like a quick little example of that, we take a look at Hilda Tonevold. 4, going to be solid and stable and practical. And then the 2, strong in partnership. And then the 6, loving and caring. So this is going to be a powerful version for you to be able to be a leader and someone who's going to work really hard. But then Hilda May says that you give your love away, give your business away, and end up fighting with people who are going to be on your page. So people are going to say, oh, I like it, I see it, I get it, I'm going to do it, and then they disappear. Or they're going to challenge you, or they're going to feel you're going to take it too personally when they talk to you about it. And so your personal name works better than your business name. So just so that we can see how that sort of plays out. And then also your name, Hilda, and then Tonevold, that also shows up as well to give you opportunities to learn more about yourself. That's why when we do a single session, you get a chance to actually go deep into what parts of you show up where, okay? So we get to the next number, the number 8. And 426 is good, Hilda. It's not a bad look, okay? It's just a little bit more hardworking than you'd like. It's probably going to be a bit more frustrated with the, man, I work so hard. And I'm going to get out of that. And I want to get out of that. So we look at other things you can do to do that. So the number 8, this is the promised land of wealth. The 8 is like an infinity symbol, okay? It's on and on forever. It goes on the power of intention. It goes on the law of attraction. It goes on the value of vibration. The 8 will be a solution. It is a solution. So when we see 8s, August babies, Cecile, or born on 1979, Celeste, who else has got that 8 in their vibe? I think that's it. But we have names, 8, Pranine, Kirsty, and Jody. These people are wanting to be in power. We have a value inside of the name that says, look, I've got something. Even Brian, look at Brian's name. He's got double 8s and then a 7. He is a very strong wealth of intuition and power, but there's a trouble to express. There's a value of having so much power inside of that brain, but then the 7 is going to be like, and it's going to be trapped at the vocal, where he's going to get too smart for his own good, can disconnect a lot from people, and he can get really annoyed when someone's stupid. When someone's dumb, he's just going to be like, oh God, I really got to be here for this. I'm just going to check out and then just play a song in my head while this person's talking. Oh yeah, okay. And that feeling is going to be supremely powerful, but it's going to be choked at the voice. So we move this thing forward, and you got a really powerful thing in the making, my friend. But we'll talk about that when we get to names, balancing them out. As a number, the 8 is the triple wealth. So we see a number here that says, let's make my money work for me. Let's make my wealth. I'm going to tie up a little ribbon on my $100 bill, go out and get 10 of your friends and come back. And I don't want to work for money anymore. I want my money to work for me. This is the value of entrepreneur. So these are difficult children, okay? But they're absolutely good, like giving your parents a run for your money. Let's talk about that. Like I've got a little daughter, Life Path 8, born in August. You can't tell her what to do. You tell her what to do, and she's like, "You're being mean to me. I can't believe this." And oh my God. And I'm like, "You're 6. Just do what your daddy tells you to do." And I got to give her a little bit of respect and space because I know she's an 8. It's a tough number to run as a 6-year-old. Like it's difficult. But your main focus inside of life will to be to create wealth for others. And then when you start speaking, other people are going to be like, I'm going to do what he says. I'm going to do what she tells me right now. That feeling wants to inspire wealth. I throw my words out to the universe and it comes back and it loops around and hits me back again. So the value of we are what we speak, and this is the most powerful antenna of all of the deck. So it speaks of wealth. It is completely devoid of emotion. So it's not like okay, give me a hug. Let's figure this out. I love you. Let's do this. It's more like come on, like you're fired. I get out of here. I got work to do. Like it's not connected to the emotion. The 6 is connected to the emotion and the love as well as the money. Whereas the 8 is like, leave your emotions and egos out the door. Like sit down. Let's have a business conversation. Show me how this business works. And they're entrepreneurs at heart. So we got powerful fields because Christiane Halliday knows this. This is going to be the hardest working person in her business, okay? But it's going to be working freaking hard. It's like rainbows are everywhere with Marie Ann. Shows up as a value there that says, I'm going to work my face to the bone, and then I'll get there one day, but it'll be very difficult to get there. But Christiane Halliday, you don't have this name anymore. Like that was something you had as a kid or something you were born into. Now you're Kirsty Ann Soskine, and I actually haven't measured that one. So I don't know what that will look like, but that would be something we do in a personal session when we get a chance to do that for you. And just so you guys know, you guys are here on a group session. If I do one again, you're more than welcome to come into one. But if you work with me, I give you discount prices. So you don't pay the same price. You'll get a chance to pay cheaper to work with me in case you want to. And 8s do. This is a good topic, is if you have 8s in your chart, you're probably wanting to see me for more than one thing. It's like, I got to get my business on order. I hear you. I feel this. I don't quite understand it, but I feel that it's something powerful. It's the magnetism. This is the magnet, the 8. On the negative side of this, can get suicidal. The thing can get disassociated from your life. It can get trapped in like addiction and feeling like I don't belong here. And it can get so smart for its own good that it just gets mean. So we have a really big problem with an unbalanced 8 in there. So Brian here, should I change my business name to Brian Richard Soskine? I would be putting an extra letter to that. See, Brian Richard Soskine, you show up 887 is red. It needs an initial. So I would put an extra S, or we'll figure out another letter just in case you want to do that. You could even use Brian X Soskine, but depending on how you like to show up, I would think that there's a wonderful number in there for you. Brian Richard Soskine, excellent, perfect. If you show up that way, you got a big challenge coming for you, okay? And I think that you're ready for it. I think that you're like, I'm ready for that challenge. I can do it. So we'll talk about what that looks like when we talk about names, okay? So next thing we're looking to look at is the number 9. As we come to the end of this and we come to the end of the introduction of the numbers, next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about names. A lot of 9s here. A lot of 9s here. First things first, Mandy Isabel Walker, 999. Ooh, next time you guys see her, you give her a big hug. Okay, so you give her a big hug. This is the 3 in Mandy's chart is going to show up. It's all good. No big deal. Thumbs up. Pretty. Love it. Everybody have fun. But all the 9s in your chart are going to be crying on the inside. That 999 is going to go through a lot of emotional pain. When you feel the 19, if I put a 9 to anything, it becomes that in mastery. So when we see like master spiritual, master leader, or master global vision, or master parent, master of the gender, the 999 shows up master of all masters. It's a very difficult number to experience because the 1 is the ego. So to hold all 9s, she can't step outside of her door unless she's wearing crystals and protection and says a prayer and just knows I am me and I am not everyone else. I am me, I am me. Because if you don't, you're going to feel the pains, the hurts, the troubles, the fires. You're going to feel the sirens. You're going to feel the dog barking, the baby crying, anything that happens in your peripheral. It's going to be like, I can feel it right in my heart. Like, why do I feel that? She's going to have she's not going to last very long at parties And that it's going to be tough. We see nines everywhere. Born in September, and all along, Mandy's keeping a smile on her face and nothing to see here. It's all good. Underneath it is the overload of gigantism heart that feels like, man, this thing is too big. I can't keep it in control. So as a spooner, you've moved out of that vibration. You also changed the spelling of your name as well. So there's something to be said about that. But born in 1969, perfect example. She doesn't look her age, does she? Everybody, how about Mandy Spooner? She looks a lot younger than someone who's born in 69. It's because the 3 in her chart says, I'm not getting older. I'm not getting older. I'm going to stay young and fun and have a great time. But then when we look at her birthday, she's like, okay, so this is the age doesn't match the appearance. You're older than you look. And the 3 is like, I don't ever say that again. And so that feeling is like, okay, I get it. Right? We want to stay young and want to stay fun. But the value is that you're hiding that ancient heart, the timeless, universal, like billions of years old vibration under a sweet princess vibe that says this life is going to be there, okay? So what do I make of 729 for my name and my birthday being 729? Like a spiritual understanding and awakening that you like, how does the AI OI match to match July? Like that's power. That's a wonderful. Like for me, I'm thinking that you're an old soul. That's just the long and the short of it. That you've been here before. You're not messing around. Your name matches your birthday. Like guys, that's a wonderful tattoo of itself. That's a very strong. Like it's very rare to see something like that. When we do, we see that there's power in that. And I like to claim that mine does the same too. Okay, like the name Balwant is a 281. My name Bobby is a 641. Okay, so I do see this happening inside of my name as well. No big deal. But it's not as cool as Brian's because his is like right there in your face. Like Brian Soskine is exactly like his birthday. So there's a destiny before you that is very spiritual in nature. So you wanting to get business done, you may be at the top. You may be looking at a powerful name like Brian Richards Soskine. So we'll get to that in a second because that's going to definitely have some words for you. But the 9s, you feel pains, you feel others, you feel people much more than sometimes you'd like to. So in case you're experiencing that, it's the ultimate universal self-sacrifice for the other inside of that number. And in case that is you, I'm putting this lovely stone in front of you. This is like a take away the negativity stone. This is like you can pour all of your negative energy into this. It'll take it from you, and you can use this. And I'm holding this in my hand with lots of love to know that I'm grounding all of that extra love that you're shouldering, burdening, going through. And it reminds me of 333, that moment we shared, the 3rd month, 3rd day, 3rd year. This is that connection back to the infinite realm of spacelessness and timelessness that will help you to expel all of the, oh man, a piece just broke. This is a brittle stone, and I kind of try to be careful with it, but I said that and it went, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Someone's pouring energy into this. I'm just going to calmly put you down, and it's right here, just in case anyone needs it. This is what I do, is I help people connect through gems. And in case any of you guys don't have gems yet, what's wrong with you? What I would do is I would go, there you go. Brian's got one. Nice one. And so what I would do, you don't have one, if you don't have any yet, go to your metaphysical store, your gem store, and get the Roy G. Biv. Okay, so get all the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then get a white stone, get a black stone, get a smoky quartz, a white, black, and gray, and then get a pyrite, and you're set. Okay, so these are a good starter kit numbers in there. Okay, so so absolutely powerful. I can see that there for sure. I'm not sure what stone that is, Brian, but that looks pretty cool to have that one in there. But having a very powerful level of gems is really cool. I absolutely appreciate that, especially at the 9 level when we're talking about having a connection back to the universe. It's not a bad idea to connect to a spiritual sense of you. Okay, a bit of opal. Nice. So Catherine is saying, does a life path 9 relate to the 9 in your name? How about you? So yes, it does. It really does, because you are experiencing a name, Katharina, that says 9 in your name, and then 9 is a life path, like you see it again. So if I'm looking at a track and we look at your life path, this is the path. Okay, so we're looking at the path of your life, and it says racetrack or no track at all, or lovely walk in the path in the sun, or HOV lane, like family lane, or like the meditative walk up the mountain, right? Or maybe this is the highway or the commute. So we see these different roads in your life. If you have a name that says tractor, but a life path that says racetrack, you're going to be like, shoot. I've got a name that only goes 40 km a mile, and it's like these big wheels need to be like, like on a tractor. Whereas everyone else I'm on a road that says, and it's not a good match. Whereas we see another number that says super spiritual. Catherine's got a life path 9, and then she's got a 9 inside of her name. We're feeling like, okay, even though these are heavy numbers to deal with, I get it. We're glad that you have a value that matches itself. Or if we're lucky enough to be like Bobby or like Brian, where we have numbers that actually literally coincide like a sandwich together, whether this thing works or not, he's going to find a power in his life. It's just going to be that we need to upgrade it because we want to put some wealth in there for you too. We want to build a business. Business is a specific vibe. Doesn't mean there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. You're all absolutely so perfect. There's literally nothing wrong with you guys at all. We're all trying to fit into business names. And that's like a specific vibe. So take it for what it is, okay? But the 9s, guys, you feel the pains of others. And that's that. And so I feel your pain for you. I have 9s in my chart as well. So I get it. I understand that. It's something that we all sort of, it's the bigger call, the bigger nature, the bigger thing that we want to deal with. So we're doing pretty good for time. We're going to switch gears now and start talking about names. There are going to be some of you who already feel it. There are going to be some of you who don't know what to think. That's okay. We don't have to figure it out now. I would love if by the end of our time, we all sat with something. If you really don't like it, you can come back to it later. But if you're going to hum and haw, there's time to hum and haw. You can think about this over days. You can think about this over minutes. You can think about this while I'm talking about somebody else. You can go into meditation on this. Ideally, if you have things like a 7 or a 9, you may be deliberating for a while. Okay. So just in case that shows up, you may be like, shit, I don't know. And that's okay. If you don't know, that's fine. Okay. So you can take that for what it is. We're going to go in order of who paid me. Okay. So Cecile, you're up first. Feel free to unmute yourself. If you don't feel like speaking, you can absolutely go into just the chat and we'll get to you there. Now, there are 2 versions of your name. The Facebook called name and then your business name. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of this on the app, and you may not feel like you're too enthusiastic about taking Cecile Burton A. Shane, or Cecile Burton S. Shane, or Cecile Burton J. Shane. Now, I'm going to explain all of these numbers first before you guys choose them. And if you do want one that isn't there, and you're like, well, how come I want that number, but I don't see the letter there? We just have to come up with something else, okay? So we may put it off until the end, but let's start talking about these, okay? 156 and 516. Cecile, give me a second. We're going to come back to you in a minute. Yeah. 156 and 516. Leadership, passion, balance. Passion, leadership, balance. There's a value in here that says I want to be in control. I want to be in the lead. I'm not afraid to get my butt in order, and I definitely am heart-centered. So these numbers, if you have them, this is what you'd be picking. 246, 426. Partnership, hard work, stability. So this is, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to work you to the bone because this is what we do. We work hard, and I'll give you a hug and a kiss after. And we're gonna have a fun time, and you can come over for dinner. And we earned it. And let's cheers to our glasses. And we're doing this for our kids. Remember, so we have love, which is a labor of love. Then we have the 358 and the 538. No plan, no structure, super chaotic, super charming, very adventurous, super ambitious for business. get me started. I just want to have fun. This is the year 2019. Let's go out there, fully express ourselves. 2020, you may be feeling a bit differently in case you choose a name like this, unless you've got a 5 or a 3 all over your chart and you're like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. In which case, have fun. This is the really big, have fun. Let's get to work. Let's be passionate about where we go to. And then the 178718, leave me alone. I want to be by myself. I'm going to do this by myself. I can lead. I'm going to lead people, but there's going to be a distance. I'm going to put in a sensation of distance between myself and others. And I just want to be left alone to figure this whole thing out. If you're not too social and not too worried about the community and you never go to events in your life, fine, who cares? Build your business from your home office, that's fine. But these people are best left alone so that they can commune with the spirits and commune with God so that they can figure themselves out. Then we have the mastery numbers, or the advanced numbers. I'd say mastery 1, and then there's mastery 2. So mastery 1 shows up as God. So these numbers are very spiritually connected. They care about the other. They're conscious. They're responsible. They're parents. They're absolutely wanting to take their success in family and put it into a success in business. Okay, but they're entrepreneurs and they absolutely want to create wealth and they want to create teams. Then we have the 696 and the 966. I should put stars here. These are the most balanced and the most profitable names in all forms. If you've got young children, if you've got a loving relationship, if you're doing this as a power couple, if you want to stand up on stage, if you want to be a mama bear or a papa bear in business, or you want to be a leader, it's all equal distant parts. I named my son by this number because I knew it was the most perfect name out there. It's master male or master female, king, queen. You get the picture, okay? Then we have all-star. I have all-star, so Bobby takes this one. And the all-star vibration shows up as business on one side, spirit on the other, and family on the other. So it's the trifecta of power. This gets you out of tough places, out of debt, out of drugs, out of abuse, self-abuse, abuse from others. It gets you stop fighting yourself. You love yourself. So if anybody's dealing with like, ouch, my life, you may be inclined to take a name like this to even yourself out before you kind of like, get anywhere. But it is a bit of a longer term name. As we go further, the names take longer to take effect. So some people will be like, ooh, yeah, I want money like yesterday. You may take a name like this for now and then switch to a name like these when you have a team and you're 5A and you got boom, you're on boom. You want to go and have my own chart. You have your own session. Bobby, I got 15 people. Let's do this. I want a group love. I want to get all my entrepreneurs lined up. Some people even pay for all their people. Like, imagine that. Just dropping that like couple grand, just like, let's get this done. I'm like, whoa, okay. So and those are leaders. Don't do that. Make your people pay for that. This is a sense of skin in the game. Like, get your own skin in the game. I get it if someone's in a tough spot, loan them the money. But this is what I'm talking about, is that you actually absolutely move it. And I did that. I'm offering payment plans for you guys as well, because I'll loan you the money. Absolutely. I want you to get rich first. Then we have the mastery numbers, okay? These numbers are global visionary. Do not take them unless you are planning on making millions of dollars a month. And I mean, like, seriously, like Cameron George has this, Balaj has this, Matthew has this, Julian Sherman has this. Like, they're big ass numbers. They are not kidding around. They have no 6. There's no sensation of family, no sensation of love. They are like, I'm ready to change the world. I want like big time wealth. So in case any of you guys have fun in these numbers, and then in like 2-3 years, you're ready for the next level, or you're planning on creating a PTY LTD, you may use an 898 or a very powerful vibration 988 for a version of your long-term business, okay? So this is the long and the short of the names. We're going to go back now. So we're going to go back into Cecile, and if you want, what we'll do is we'll talk about your options. Are you okay to take Cecile, Burton, Shane with a letter? Or do we, and if so, it would be A, J, or S, or do you want to revisit your name and take one of the names out?
I'm thinking I might have to get rid of Shane for now.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's go Cecile, Burton, and we're going to go inside of this, you have an option of okay, so we're going to take this out. We're going to take this out. So now you have an option of the letter E. Okay, so you have the letter E you can choose.
Yeah.
Cecile E. Burton. And this one gives you the power of queen. Okay, so this is a wonderful woman number. And then also you have the power of N and W showing up a little bit easier to manage. This is a bit more of your fun and passion. And then you also have E, F, G, this one here, 178, G, P, or Y. So does any one of these numbers poke out at you more than the other?
Probably E.
Probably. So what we'll do is we'll put Cecile E. Burton here, and then
Yeah.
if you want to change it, you can. Okay. So we're gonna line this up, and now you get a purple name. So I'm really this is it. This is where we start moving this along. You get the best value of all the thinking time in the world to think, hey, you know what? When I get down here, you're like, shoot, no, I want one of the other letters. So what about your freedom and health, Cecile Shane? This one here also needs something. You can choose the F, X, the D, M, or the V. You could do something like this, okay? Freedom and health, Cecile Shane. The problem is,
sorry, Bobby, I need to get rid of Shane and put Burton instead.
So let's just try this. I'm gonna just give you guys a quick little mention on this. When you show up as a business page, it's a handshake. If you were to see me at a party, you wouldn't say freedom and health, Shane, Cecile Burton. That would be like weird. You'd be like, hi, I'm Cecile. Nice to meet you. Same thing on someone's news feed. They're scrolling. If they see a sponsored ad and it says something like rainbows are everywhere, nutrition on the go, freedom and health, Viva Health and Wealth, Success Designer, they're automatically the neuro-linguistic programming triggers are going to, this is a business, I'm being sold something, I must react, and their robot mind is going to start closing you down. You could still put Cecile Burton, and then on your page, the banner says freedom and health, or Barbara Y. Reed says on her tagline, Success Designer, but that title page should be your name. However, if you want to keep it and you're like, Bobby, I like what you're saying there, great, but I'm paying you to do what I want you to do, then I will still give you the value of having the name there that says the title as well, as long as it works out the business. But I would suggest that you just keep your name. So if you were to change it to just
then just put my name then. That's fine.
Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're also going to put it here, okay? And if you want to change it, then you can, but I would suggest that you use this everywhere.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Okay, Katharina, so now your version shows up like this. You have two separate names that you can use. One is going to be Katharina Crisanti, and this is going to be the only thing that I can really come up with would either be a BK or a T, so it shows up like this. And then you can take Katharina B. Crisanti, K. Crisanti, or T. Crisanti shows up like this, or Katharina A. Crisanti, and it could show up something like this. You can hide them, so in case you want to put A and A, or maybe you can put Katharina like that, or you can just be like this, like that, A. Crisanti. That gets you back into the mastery, or you could just take one of these, B, K, or T. It works really nicely since that's the name you were born with. And so I would imagine that would probably be one of the more powerful, authentic vibrations. Like when we're looking at a name like Brian's name and the number matches his birthday, when your name matches when a balanced vibration is yours, like look at mine. I have Bobby F. Perryhar. Francisco's my middle name. I have a destiny to fulfill. So you have a destiny to fulfill at the 426 level. You may be like, yeah, it works smart. I like it. But if you do want to choose another one, you can. Did any one of these poke out at you between the AA or the BK or T? You can unmute.
Yeah. I have to unmute myself. I feel like a truck has just driven over me. This is totally new to me. And I'm going, what the fuck? I have to choose numbers and letters now. When I looked at it first, the 696 hit me. So the double A, but I didn't understand why the double A is in inverted commas.
You could do this. Katharina Kales Chrysanthi. If you put an S in there, you get the same 696. So you could put this S somewhere in your full name, and this would also work. You could even do something like this, and it would do the same thing, 696. But the reason why I was putting the double A is because you have to choose both of those letters to do the same thing. But seeing as your full name, Katharina Chrysanthi Keel, shows up one letter away from 966, we could use that as well and just put a letter S somewhere in there, and you're back up to that 966 vibration, the feeling of queen woman.
Can I just something totally different. Can I just ask if I would, because I recently found my birth certificate and they spelled that name, which I always, and in my passport comes up as Chrisanthi, but in my birth certificate it was Chrisanthi. Would that make any difference?
It will, and H is not one of these letters, so it would come up with another letter. So if I just quickly do this one, let's go Katharina, what is it? Katharina, and then it says Chrysanthi Keel.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, wait, I'm missing the H. It goes into 944, so you would need a B, K, or a T attached to that in order to balance it out. If you take Keel out, and it's just Chrysanthi with the H in there, then I would be putting in a letter, U. Katharina U, Chrysanthi with an H, and then this takes you up to here.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't worry. You don't have to figure this out right now. I can't
figure it out. I'm completely blocked at the moment. That's just probably me trying to work it out for myself in my head again. That's so, the number 4, as you explained, was very nicely.
You should have to go through every single one of them, try each one on, look at yourself in the mirror. I like this, but I don't like this about it. And I'll figure it out. Okay, try the next one. Oh, which one did I try on before? And so it's okay if you need to deliberate. It's all good. But what I will do is I'm going to give you a few. Okay, so we're going to talk about Katharina Chrysanthi Keel, and then with that one you put in a BK or a T. So there's one there if you want to write these down so that you know which one you want to choose, and by the time we're done we can ask again. So what we'll do is we're just going to put this one back, and then that way we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So
I personally don't like it with an H in the second H in the beginning.
Okay, so let's take the H out.
Doesn't ring right for me.
That's okay. So let's take the H out and let's make sure we just work with this. So you are looking at Katharina Chrysanthi Keel with an S. So you can add an extra S in there. That takes you to Queen vibe. Or you can do the double A and takes you there as well. Or you can do the letter D or the letter B, K, or T, and that one would work as well. So you've got some options there. You can write them all out and see which one you like. I would basically write like Katharina Chrysanthi S Keel, and then Katharina A Chrysanthi, and then Katharina B Chrysanthi, Katharina K Chrysanthi, or Katharina T Chrysanthi, and whichever one kind of picks at you the most, this is the one that you should choose.
Okay, got it.
Now, what about your business name? The business name, again, would want something, either D, M, or V, F, or X, or O, if you keep this. If you keep Chrysanthi and you put another letter in there, it needs one of these blue letters to figure themselves out, or you can always use the one that we figure out altogether. Okay, so just food for thought. Unless you're like, ooh, I like Chrysanthi X. That looks pretty cool. There's not a bad look. You can definitely run with a page name like that, and then you're good to go. But does that one make any clearer, or are you still going to deliberate over it?
I'm still going to deliberate over it.
Perfect. No worries.
So, just to be clear, I don't have to take all 3 letters, just one of the letters.
Yeah, don't take all 3. Just one of them. unless it's the A, in which case you take double A, okay? But I've never given someone 3 initials before. I don't think I'll ever do that. I have a problem giving people 2. And so you're like, I'll take 2. If it means I'm going to make lots of money, who cares? It gets stinking rich. So there is that. But then also, I also have I hesitant against giving people 3 words and a letter. I don't think so. So, okay, Mandy's turn. So Mandy, if you want to unmute yourself, you can talk in the chat. Have you picked a name, or do you want to, does one of these, so in terms of Mandy Spooner, I would be putting in a B, K, or a T, or there was another one, I believe, wasn't there? 5 and 6. Otherwise, there would be B, K, or T, or D, M, or V will be right here. So you could take the D, M, or V, Mandy V Spooner, Mandy M Spooner, Mandy D Spooner, and it'll do the 538, the Fun in the Sun gang name. Or you can take the B, K, or T. It's a bit more passion for leadership. Does one of these names work with Mandy Spooner, or do we want to go a little bit deeper? And you could also keep this name, by the way. But depending on how you want to run your personal name, you could also be like, because with a name like this, it's like, we keep it, or you could change it if you want to. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure about the DMV or the BTK. None of them really make sense to me. Is the best way I can describe it.
Sure. The thing about Mandy Spooner is that it actually works. So there could also be that party that's like, why do I got to change it? You don't. You definitely don't.
Okay.
And at the same time, look at that, 11:11. It's my personal time. So when I do that, I'm kind of like, the gods have spoken. And if you're kind of okay to keep it, Mandy Spooner absolutely works.
Perfect. Cool. Let's keep Mandy Spooner then. Yep.
Viva Health and Wealth Mandy Spooner does not work for business.
Cool. Okay.
So in there, you could add an X instead of a dash. That's something that would work. Or you could just take Viva Health and Wealth out and just build under Mandy Spooner. Up to you.
Cool. Let's just do Mandy Spooner.
Okay, let's do that. And then that way, let's do this. And then you've got a name that actually works. And it's a natural alignment. So you're at a good vibe looking inside of there, okay? Now, Praneen's saying here, my Facebook initial, can I include my initial D? So you have it there. So you look at this. Praneen can go D, M, or V. So if I go Praneen D Kawang like this, it works. Okay, so that's a natural vibration for balance within you that actually shows up as a powerful vibration. So I take that, I put that as a green, and you're good. Do you have any questions about that, or did you want to choose another one? You have to unmute yourself.
It's okay.
It's good?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and your business page, you don't have to change it if you don't want to, or if you want to put an extra letter in there, you can. But this is a good vibration as long as you're okay being a little bit more reserved and held back a little bit, sort of like thinking in the background.
Okay. So how will I do it? How will I improve it? How will I improve so I will be improved?
If you were to improve on this, I would be putting an extra G, a P, or a Y to that name, or I would be putting an X there, or I would be using the letter O, or I would also be just going down to Praneen D Kawang.
Okay. No, it will be the same with my personal. It should be different.
It should be different. Okay, so if you want to make it different, you could go Praneen V Kawang or Praneen M Kawang. You could also put a G, P, or Y. See, we want to get better than this. This is already here. So I would suggest that you do something like this. Praneen, Praneen G, Doyag Kawang. Or you could even do like this. Doyag, like that. And put an extra G in there, or put an extra Kawang.
Maybe that's okay, the double G. So that as if it's a misspelled.
Yep. Okay, so you're okay with that? This is going to be a wonderful name for you.
Yes.
And I like it because it's the name that I choose for myself. So, okay, cool. Now, Brian, if you take Brian Richards' Sozkind, you go like this, okay? It goes up into this number, 898. Okay, so this is adding an S to Richards. If you take this number, we're going to be relying on Kirsty to come in a lot more at the emotional area. because your vibration is to say, I'm stepping into my rocket ship right now. And I believe that that's a wonderful name, but at the same time, this is your life, your chart. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I think it's hilarious that I changed. Actually, my regular page is the same as my business page, but I changed it from Brian Susskind to Brian R. Susskind, and nothing changed in the numbers. I think that's hilarious. So that blows my mind. But as far as, see, it doesn't feel natural, Brian Richard Susskind, just to add an S. Like, I could do Brian X Susskind, I could do Brian Q Susskind, maybe X, I don't know. You know, it's just doesn't feel genuine. That's the only thing. How do I get over that in my head?
Let's just try this. Let me see. Can I just see Brian Richard? Let's just try Brian Richard and see what that thing is.
Brian Rich.
Well, Brian Richard is 887, so
What
right?
about Brian Rich?
Well, wait, that's Brian Richard Saucekind. So let's just try Brian Richard.
Brian Richard?
So,
Richard?
Brian Rich. Just Rich, how I see it.
Brian Rich Susskind. What about that?
So let's try that one. Brian Richard will work as well. Okay, but then Brian Rich Saucekind. Let's try that one.
That's putting it out into the universe.
Same problem. We're missing something.
Okay.
So it would need an extra letter. And yeah, you could put like, if you're—
What if I do Brian X Susskind? What does
Brian
that put?
X Susskind will work because we looked at that one as being one of the more powerful versions of you. So when we take that X, it's sitting here under the all-star vibe. The reason why I really like this is because you are a life path, or sorry, you got a 7 in your birth, in your month path, and you also have a very powerful 8 in your name. So when we pull both of these together, the 7 and the 8, and balance them back out, you become a little bit more like emotionally connected. The connection, the relationship improves a lot. So Kirsty's like, take that one. And that feeling is
No, but it's you've had people trying to connect with you and then they've all of a sudden vanished
It's been
again.
the weirdest like ride of trying, like it just feels like there's a force field bouncing them off.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. It's double force field. This says intuitive, disconnected, and connected to the universe instead. It's like, we're just trying to build a business here. I don't want to like meet God and like, you know, be invisible to everyone and be part of the fabric of reality. It's like, we want something that's going to help create wealth and people are going to be inspired by you. And so pulling those numbers back in, I would say if you're cool with the X, that you do as so. Brian X. Yeah.
Was that put me at?
And if we need to change it, we can.
Get a 786.
Yep. And also, guys, if you could be changing these in a year's time. That's why we don't change them legally. It could be something different in a different part of your life. Once you start making your first 100,000 online, you're going to be a different person. So let's just pay attention to that. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks. I wanted to actually scroll back up because I remember we were talking about this. So it says, is this Brian or Kirsty typing this, the paragraph?
Oh, the long paragraph? That's
Yeah.
Kirsty.
Yeah. Okay, so Kirsty says, I have had troubles trying to work out what the best domain would be, kirstyandsaucekind.com. I'm actually a bit of a 2, can't make up my mind, want to get things right. I want to ensure everyone is happy. Me and you both, girl. The 4 is very much me too, but I have the challenge to speak up. Life Path 7, okay? However, when I was a gamer, I used Kira as a nickname, which I felt more positive, more fun, and empowered. I need help with knowing how to balance this out while still being authentic, because I always had a strong interest in travel and lifestyle and want to feel entrepreneurship, but it felt bogged. You're talking about everything. Like, you want it all. So we need a number that says all of this. It doesn't just go into one or the other. Like, there's travel, family, self-worth, communication, power, connection, a pseudo name, like your online name, and the feeling of who you are. I want to be in business. So we can't, and the only way to take this is a number that says that has it all. So the same thing with Kirsty Saucekind. How about Kirsty and Saucekind? Let's just try that. Let's see what you got and what you're dealing with, and then let's take a quick look there because I never did that one. And we're gonna see here, Kirsty and Saucekind. It's still missing. So what about Kira? Let's try Kira Saucekind. It would be Kira B, Kira K, or Kira T Saucekind would give you the I got it all vibe. Okay. So in case you want to run with that, if something else feels a bit different, you can let me know. What do you think?
So Kira K or Kira T Saucekind?
Yeah, or Kira B Saucekind.
How would that work with a V?
V would be Kirsty V Saucekind.
Okay.
And that would be this one. That would be this one.
But look, that'll put you in this. There.
And if Brian's taking a number like this, then you could definitely, you have a range, because this is good. You have a range to play in and around those numbers. So in case you want to, you can. You could even go high end and go Kirsty O Saucekind. But it's just tough to live at that level. Like, it'll rip everything out of you.
Yeah. And I want some. I still want some for myself, because being that 4, I put so much in, but at the same time, there's the conflict because I want to still have room for me.
Yeah, you could also go Kirsty AA Saucekind, I think. Nope. Wait, hold on.
Can you put a space between the A's, or do they have to be tied together like that?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can put an A in there. You can tie it in. You can. Sorry, it's the wrong one. It would be looking at DM or V or EA or E or AU. There you go. Kirsty AU Saucekind.
AU?
If you want
to. Get over here.
Like,
that's what I'll be calling her. I'll be, hey, you.
Hey, you. Kirsty AU Saucekind. That's awesome. Does one of them poke out at you, or are we still kind of thinking it over?
I think I'm still thinking over trying to get in my
We haven't
head.
figured it out yet. Let me try one more. How about something like Kira Ann?
Mm-hmm.
What if you take the E off the N?
No. How about Kirsty Ann? Let's do that.
Kira Ann? Did you do Kira Ann?
Yeah.
I did Kira Ann. I'm doing Kirsty Ann Saucekind without the E. It works, but it still needs something. And if we're like scrunching the name up like this, it just makes me feel like we should find something powerful. But yeah, Kira Saucekind works really good with an initial. It's kind of like one of the best ones so far. Kira B or Kira K.
I use my maiden initial at all, like the Halliday, the
Kira
H or
H
anything
sister?
like that.
How about this? How about Kirsty Halliday Saucekind? No, it doesn't work. We're still on the drawing board. Let's just try Kira A. Let's
I like it. It's funny.
yeah, I would probably say that Kirsty X Saucekind would probably be the best you could do. You seeing if the other one is there as well. So let's try Kirsty X. Yeah, Kirsty X Saucekind. That's actually a powerful partner number for Brian, and then again the relationship starts to grow as well.
And we could probably build off that X in a team name or something. We could probably play off the X in a positive way if we're creative.
Well, it's becoming a theme in the business, so it kind of fits.
Yeah, exactly. And I could have taken it, but I didn't. And then Clint's like, give me the X. And I'm like, all right, let's see this. And then everyone's like, I want the X too. So it's very powerful. Yeah, if you want to consider that. And then both of you guys have the same initial, like Kirsty and Clint. So it's not a bad look. But Kirsty and Clint, bump over. It's Kirsty and Brian now.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're hoping.
Cool. Absolutely. Well, hopes become dreams and dreams become plans. So sit with this. If you want to change it, you change it. You let me know. Let's go into Melissa's name now. So Melissa's got 3 names that you're looking at. Nutrition on the go doesn't need to be lined up. Okay, so it looks really good. But Melissa, if you're with us, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm on.
Hey, what's up? And then how do I get a purple name? Mandy wants a purple name. You would be putting in another letter. We'd have to put either 2 letters or a middle name or something in there that would boost you, like A.S. or A.J. If you put Mandy A.J. Spooner or Mandy A.S. Spooner, you would get right inside of here. And this would be like a master name for Master Wealth. Right now, this one is a passion to work really hard. So more on that later if you want to. We'll circle back through again and come back just in case you have more thoughts. So Melissa, your options for your let's do Melissa Haston first.
Yeah.
459, I would suggest, is going to be very problematic. You overwork. Like you work so freaking hard. Like that's like it's making my back hurt just to read that name because the 4 wants to work super hard, the 5 doesn't want to stop, and the 9 just wants to do it all for everyone else. So the name in Melissa Haston, I would be putting an F or an X in it to get somewhere. Or even if you want to take a much different move, the letter O, or we can play around with this and see, is there something else available for you? Yeah, Melissa Jane, if you wanted to run something like that.
So Jane's okay because that's my middle name.
Of course, well, yeah, because I mean, I'm trying to say like, let's say Melissa Jane. This one would take the letter O, Melissa O Jane, or and then you're right in the purple. Like it's a really powerful name like that, but it's tough when I give someone a middle name and an initial. It's kind of strange. What are we looking at? You could also do Melissa Jane like this, and write it like this, and go Melissa Jane Haston. Is that's the name, right? You're not tearing. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So you misspell Haston, and you put, and I would do this to Jane because Jane is a very difficult number to write on its own. If you put the E in it, Jane becomes a lot easier on yourself. Right now, Jane is going to be a lack of sense of self-love. So I don't mean to like call you out here, but you give all of it away to others, and then when it comes to yourself, you're just flicking crumbs at you. And you're not alone. Jean, Jane, Charles, James, a lot of us have this kind of thing. But I would say that if I see you, I'm going to give you a really big hug because you don't do that for yourself. So you're going to rely on other people to do that. Yeah. Whereas Jane, spelled with an E in there, that looks good. Looks real nice.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, so let's go Melissa Jane Haston like this. And we're still saying Jane. We're just going to spell it a little differently. And then Melissa Jane Haston. Or you could even just take it as a letter if you wanted to really like mix it up. Now, on your pages, you actually have Miss Melissa Haston as a tagline, but you use Melissa Haston as the name for your page, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would change that as well and put Jane in there.
So Miss Melissa Jane Haston.
No. Sorry, I would go Miss Melissa Haston is just regular as it is, but let's just quickly check this. We go facebook.com and then Miss Melissa Haston should take us to you, right? See, it says Melissa Haston. It doesn't actually say anything else. So I would put, this is good. This is actually still good. When we look at our chart, 426, you're okay. You're in a good space. And then nutrition on the go is another page.
It's a separate page, yeah.
If you're planning on doing this, you're like the 898, it's probably not going to do anything unless you plan on like changing the way that we consider health. Unless you plan on like completely revamping the universe with that name, it's going to be too much. But if you were to go nutrition on the go G, it's hard. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
To add a letter to that. So nutrition on the go is supremely powerful, but you're there to make money. It's not so much about the passion of what that is. It's like we're gonna change the world with that. So if you're not planning on changing the world, it could be a bit of overkill.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, well, I've already registered that name, so I don't know what to do with it then.
PTY Ltd, you mean?
No, just with not as PTLY Ltd, whatever it is, yeah. Just as Nutrition on the Go.
That's a powerful name for business. Where did you register it?
Through ASIC.
So you've got a very good name. This thing, it'll just take a lot out of you to be able to create wealth in that. So not a bad look. Definitely not a bad look. But if it's already registered, you nailed it. When we talk about legal registrations, the bigger numbers are the way to go. Okay, guys.
Okay, so it is good. Okay.
Yeah, it is good. I absolutely like it.
Oh, good.
It's just that it'll pull everything out of you. So it'll definitely make you grow. And looking at your numbers, you're not afraid of that. You're absolutely not afraid of that.
Okay.
Cool. So we found a good name?
Another name, you mean instead, or?
No, we found a good name. We're good with
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, if you have any questions, you let me know. Let's
Yeah.
go to Virginia. So, Virginia, are you here with us? Do you want to be on chat? Or you...
Hi. Hi,
Hey,
Bobby.
what's up, what's up?
Oh,
How's it going?
good, good. I'm a bit
So,
overwhelmed, but good.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys so much for, like running with this with me and allowing me to do what I do for you guys. So Virginia X Facio is not a vibe I would consider it's going to work for you. But you could put Virginia XX Facio and that would work. Or if you're going to pick a letter, then Virginia Facio would work better with a J, an S, an A, a C, a L, or a U. Your options with this name are all in the purple. See that? You don't really go too far down into the green. So
Yeah.
if unless you're feeling Virginia O Facio, the U, the A, the J, or the S are wonderful letters for you.
Yeah. Can I just ask you something? I'm a bit confused at the moment. So when you say FB code name, does that refers to our personal page, personal Facebook page, or not?
It refers to the name you've got on your personal page.
Okay, okay. And now that I've seen Nutrition on the Go from Melissa, on my business page under Virginia X Facio, I actually wrote Elevate with Virginia. So I don't know if that was relevant or not, because I completely didn't mention that when I send you the information, but I was just to double check at this point.
So it looks like this. And then see, so okay, this is what I see. This is what I see.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a like because duh.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna also take a look and I'm gonna where am I? I'm gonna unfollow you because I don't need to see it. But I will say this. Where is it? Elevate with Virginia. Let's go. We'll quickly just take a look at this and see how this works. And then that way you can get a good idea as to whether you're working with fire or not. So Elevate with Virginia.
I just want to share something if I can.
Yeah.
I've always really hate my name since I was very little, because I've been bullied so badly about it that I really struggled for a long time.
Virginia, okay.
Sorry to even say it.
Yeah. The word itself, Virginia, speaks of independence. It speaks of intuition, and it speaks of magnetic power. So you have a numerologically aligned name that is a powerful name. The problem that we feel and that we do is that we hear all of the people that made fun of us when we were kids. Like when I was a kid and I was super fat, and like people were calling me booby or blobby. And I get it. It's funny, right? You chuckle at it. But for me, it's just like, I hate it when they would do that to me. And this was my name. It was what they did. I've come to terms with it just to understand that, well, look at me now, bitches. Like, I get it. But the reality is that your name, Virginia, actually works really well on its own. If you were like, no, I really don't like it, I'm more of a Susan, we can change that name if you want to. If you want to use something else, you can. But at the same time, I just wanted to reinstill some faith in you to know that your name actually is pretty good.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, what about a letter, though? Virginia X Facio would need another X to figure it out. Or you could actually use XO. You could use Virginia XO Facio.
Yeah, I can.
Oh,
to see the other letters.
Sorry, yeah, give me 1 second here. I'm just going to pull it back up. Just going to do this and do this. So where are we? We've got red names, okay? We're looking at UA. So imagine Virginia U Facio, Virginia A Facio, Virginia J Facio, Virginia S Facio, or Virginia C Facio, or Virginia L Facio. You could even just do this and spell Facio like that with an extra S. You could even just do A, like do this with an extra A in there and just go Virginia Facio. Like you could misspell it, or an extra A in Virginia like that.
I think I resonated the moment with the J. Virginia J. Fascio.
Okay. So this is the number I take, and this helped me through a lot of things that I had to go through. So I really appreciate you taking that. Makes me feel like I can really trust it, and I absolutely like it. We're going to change your business page as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
If you need, you're very welcome. You're aligned. Absolutely. Okay, Hilda, how about you? Are you there with us?
I am.
Hey, how's it going?
Woohoo! I'm great. Thank you. How are you? This is
I'm
fantastic.
good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're getting value on it. I know we're going long here, but we're almost done. We're halfway through the names here. Your name works, okay? Hilda Tonnevold works. Is this the name you're born?
Sorry, say that again. The last thing you said?
This is the name you were born with?
Yes.
Okay, and then the name that you're using. Now, you may not want to take Hilda Tonnevold on your Facebook page. Are you okay to do that, or do you want to change this?
Well, my personal page name, I actually can't change anymore because I've already changed it once.
Okay.
So technically, that's just sort of how it is. But my business name, Hilda May, is just something I chose because I like the sound of it. It also felt a little bit like giving myself permission to something when I chose it.
Yep.
So I'm thinking to then add the letters that you're suggesting to Hilda May. Is that what you're suggesting too?
Yep. So it'll be Hilda S. May, Hilda J. May, or Hilda Mays, or Hilda Maya, or Hilda A. May.
Yes. So what about an E?
No.
Bum, bum. Okay, so because I like the look of, like, I've written it out a little bit and kind of had a play around. So does it have to be an added initial, or can I basically change the letters around to create a different name?
Yeah, you can.
So can I then go Hilda M J Jay, or does it have to be JS?
So like this.
And also, sorry, is that again? Sorry, I'm talking very fast. I'm very excited.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. 696. Yeah. Very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very powerful.
That feels good. That feels good. So I was kind of also then thinking. So sorry. So I had a question. The difference between the double A and the JS in blue and the A in blue. What is that? What
the
are they?
double A speaks to Hilda Tonnevold, so it's red because it looks like a red for the red name, and then the blue will be for the business name. So I haven't figured out a better way of keeping myself organized because it gets super confusing, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to figure this out. So that's basically how I would run it. Is just to know that you could be Hilda A. Tonnevold, but seeing as you can't change this, you are lucky.
Yeah.
That thing is good. Otherwise, you gotta get a new Facebook profile, and everybody get expecting requests. And oh my god.
So, and also, just if you don't mind, tell me like the difference between the vibration of the 426 and the 696.
So 4 stands for stability, practical, hard work, in the real, no emotion. I'm gonna get this thing handled and settled. The 2 says I'm gonna work with you, so this is gonna be a good coach. If I hire you, you're going to beat me up a little bit and give me a hug after. You're going to work hard with me. You got to whistle, a drill, the feeling of you need to get this thing done. And you're going to run the drill with me. And then after we're going to be like, there's a love for our friendship. Yeah. And then 696 now says, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to grow with you. I have patience with you. I'm not going to slap your hand when you do bad. It's going to be a very loving coach and a family connection that genuinely wants to see me get better. So there's a lot more value in it. And there's like, hey, I didn't hear you say anything about hard work. No, it doesn't really go into that vibe. It's more about the feeling and the love and the emotional value.
Okay. What about the financial aspect?
The financial aspect is more powerful in Hilda MJ because in Hilda Tonnevold, it's got $1 sign plus $2 signs, so $3 signs. Whereas in Hilda MJ, we have 2 and 2. So there's going to be maybe more wealth and also more love.
I can feel the Hilda MJ much more when you said it, and when like I can see it there. I felt it in my heart. So I think that rings true.
Me too.
You know, for what I'm trying to create. And I also can see that the Hilda channel and the sequence of those numbers very much speaks to who I have been, you know, up until now. And the Hilda MJ is very much about who I'm creating as myself, and also who I'm creating and what I'm creating through, you know, my business and the group. And yeah.
Hilda
I like that.
has got sleeves up and she's ready to lift. Whereas
That's
Hilda
right.
is seeing everything before anything is touched, and then getting to come in and do it. So it's a bit more of the related side.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Fabulous. Hilda MJ. Cool.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's very nice. I like that.
I
Okay,
like it
so
too. Awesome.
Mary, how about Mary? Are you with us?
Yes, I am here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you so much. This is really amazing stuff here.
You're very welcome. Pretty crazy, right?
It is. It's very crazy. It is amazing, and I'm really struck by the fact that, because of course you don't know me, so you call me Mary, but I have been called Mary Ann my whole life, even though my birth name is Mary Elizabeth Ann.
Okay.
Well, whenever anyone asks me what my name is, the name that feels like it has a heartstring is Mary Elizabeth Ann, but I really dislike being called Mary on its own. So it's really kind of how I find a balance around, well, no, but it's interesting because how do I find a balance around not being called Mary and being called Mary Ann? But when I look at the Mary Ann, it's not quite right anymore.
So would you like to put the name together and just be done with it? Or do you think, because the last thing I'd want to do is to just call you Mary again. Or it can even just be Mary Ann and you can still satisfy that?
I guess for me, in this context, you know, you don't know me and I get it's okay to be called Mary, but I wonder what Mary with an E, like if I bring the Elizabeth in, because if I look at the name, the full name, it's got the purple there, and purple is my favorite color and has always been my favorite color since I was, one of my first memories is that purple is my favorite color. I don't know how that gets pulled in or how that comes across. But when I do purple, I do light and I do joyous and I do something very different to when I don't do purple.
So this name purple is actually in conjunction to the fact that it's a 9 name. So I have to come up with different colors for these parts because they're not the same as these purples. The name Mary Elizabeth Ann Taylor is going to pull us into an absence of communication that will be very challenging, seeing as you're very lovely and very loving and super sweet. This number is going to be a bit more difficult in terms of that. However, it is the number I've associated with 9 names. So in this case, when we're looking at Mary Elizabeth Ann Taylor, it would also need like an X in there. Like you could put Mary Elizabeth X Ann Taylor or Mary Ann X Elizabeth Taylor. But if you were to put an X inside of all of this, then it would work really, really well. Or if you want to just take it a little bit shorter, Mary Ann E would still be missing something. We would need something else other than that.
So the other thought that I've been traveling with in the last 12 months is that my kids have a hyphenated name. So I'm married, but I haven't taken my husband's name. But the children have a hyphenated name, Taylor-Sue, S-I-U. And I've been wondering whether that I should actually pick that up.
S-I-U?
Yep.
So
hyphen S-I-U.
Like S as in Sam?
Yep.
So Mary Ann Taylor Sue is a perfect vibration on its own. It needs no like it's this. It basically goes into the purple automatically. So it would look like Mary Ann Taylor Sue. And I mean, just because it's 2 hyphens, I might even just
yeah, I would take the other hyphen out, like Mary Ann with a separate. Yeah, that's fine.
Or like this, or you could even have it separately.
Just capital A. Yep.
Yeah. So this is a natural vibration. and
Yeah.
and so you have a destiny here. I would say that it may be valuable for you to either take Sue as a middle name or to hyphenate.
I've been seriously considering hyphenating it recently. So,
This is it. What about
so,
Elizabeth? Would you take that out?
well, I guess when, you know, if I was to change my name, I hadn't thought about taking Elizabeth out.
You could keep it, but it wouldn't be as powerful as Marianne Taylor Sue.
Yeah, I guess, does it matter if you go by Marianne Taylor Sue all the time, everywhere, but your passport has the Elizabeth in it? Does that?
Actually, to be fair, on a passport, that name would actually look pretty good too. You'd want to go traveling, you'd get the free upgrade, and you wouldn't miss your flight. So and we think passport, that's like what you showed up to the guy at the customs. So obviously you want it to look good. You don't want it to look negative. It doesn't say business, but your passport doesn't need to say business. So
No.
yeah, it'll be okay. But on Facebook and business, you're probably not going to put that there.
No, but my business page is the rainbows are everywhere. So that, and if I keep my Facebook called Marianne Taylor Sue.
Yeah, you're good. I would say this is a perfect name there. The only problem with this is that it's a contradiction. Because when I think rainbows are everywhere, I think of higher vibration, the power of light. There's a silver lining to everything. Whereas the 448 is more like get to work, and it's like it doesn't quite match. So it might give you a bit of headache.
That's how I've been feeling. Like I have a giant headache actually. Because it feels like it's really hard work. Like I get it. When you said it's hard work, I was like, oh yeah, I've been working hard.
Yeah.
So do I need to have the with Marianne there, or do I just take that out?
Let me see, because I thought that worked. I would then again just put their rainbows are everywhere. Let's try it. It doesn't work. Well, what about one? Just trying to see if I can figure something out here.
So the other thing,
if you put rainbows, if you put rainbows be everywhere, then that works perfectly.
Rainbows be everywhere with Marianne, or just rainbows be everywhere?
Rainbows be everywhere. That's it. So it sounds a little funny, but at the same time, it actually works. Or you could go rainbows are everywhere with Mary G. Ann, or Mary P. Ann, or Mary Ann G., something like that.
No, well, the other thing that I was thinking is if I was putting Mary Ann there or something with someone is I grew up in an Aboriginal community up in the Kimberleys, and I have a skin name which is Nangala or Janyok, but Janyok is very hard for Australians, probably for many people, to try and pronounce based on its spelling.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that when with people who are really close to me, they often call me Mem, M-E-M. So they were the other combinations I thought I could put on the end.
Okay, hold on a second. So rainbows are everywhere with Mem.
Yep.
Works. Perfect. Rainbows are everywhere with Mem, like this. I'll show you.
Because I registered a business name, Mem's Healing Arts, because I'm an art therapist.
Yeah.
So that fits.
So yeah, this would be the one to work with, like this, and then you're in the purple. And it's nice the way that this works is because this one gives you a vibration of partnership and also a vibration of care, and the fact that you want to build money around this. It suddenly fits a lot easier.
Yep.
So we're good to keep that one.
Yeah, that's good. That feels good too.
Excellent. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, Celeste.
Hey, hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You?
Great. I'm absolutely so blessed and thankful that I'm doing this for you guys. As I see all of your numbers turn purple, it just makes me feel like I'm really doing good in this planet. So Celeste, when we're looking at your name, I have three. I have three here. So there's either the letter E or the letter N or W takes you into some real power for Celeste Woods. And then for Marie Celeste, we have the green name or the blue name, and then take your power back would work with a GP or Y or an N or a W, so it doesn't quite fit with the saying because you're speaking something.
Um,
Oh, everyone's coming over to Red Bull.
Oh, they're all coming
Okay.
there.
They're
What
already all
time?
there. 6:30.
Okay.
Can you go?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Celeste, for your name?
um, I'm open to change. I'm just trying to figure out which. Okay, so Celeste Woods. Let's just work with that one first.
So Celeste Woods, you have a choice of going into where I was going to pull this out here. So there's one version of Celeste Woods that has N or W that pulls you into Master Woman. There's another version of Celeste Woods that gives you ambition and leadership. That's Celeste E. Woods. And then there's the Celeste G, P, or Y Woods that just shoots you straight off into business, which would be a little bit difficult. Capitals do not make a difference, Marianne, sorry.
I was actually looking at the Y.
Okay, wait a second now. This is like super spaceship. So if you take something like this, you have to be very careful that you take time for self-care and that there's no sensation of self-doubt and no feeling of self-worth issues, problems, or blocks. Or you're just open and willing to break that apart and actually go through all of that so that you can become a better person because of it. But with a name like Celeste Y. Woods, you better be ready to change the world.
Nothing like a challenge.
Just pay attention. In 6 months, you may be like, Bobby, this isn't working. I don't know what I'm doing. And then we can change it back if you want to or change it down. But take one from Hilda. Once you keep changing your name, Facebook's like, stop it.
Yeah. I can't decide. What does it look like?
You could also, what about if we were to do Celeste Marie Woods with an initial? Would you be okay with that?
Celeste Marie.
Celeste Marie D, Celeste Marie V, or Celeste Marie M Woods, or even Celeste M Marie Woods, Celeste D Marie Woods, or Celeste V Marie Woods.
V could work.
It looks really good. Hold on, let me just try this. Celeste Marie V Woods, like that. Okay. And if you need to change it or want to, you can. But mostly we would be looking at a power in your business. This one really balances everything out. You're a life path 6, so I would imagine you taking a master 6 number would be a very powerful feel for you. You also born in September. Up until 27 years old, you were in a 9/6 naturally. So you taking a 9/6 name now makes me feel like you're rediscovering a power of yours that you had as a young girl. And
that sounds pretty on point.
Interestingly enough, taking your power back. Like you're leaving yourself a feel there that says this would literally be the numerological equivalent of taking your power back. Like everybody can see it, 6 and 9, you were there up until 27. You would literally take that power back and you're running with it now. So you've picked a winner. What about your business page? Are you okay to change that, or do you like the more of the feeling of the Marie Celeste? Because you could do the same thing here. You do like this. Marie Celeste V Woods. But it's totally up to you. I mean, we also have other values you could choose. Instead of Marie Celeste, the value there would be D or J or S. So you could do like this.
Oh.
Do a double S in there.
Okay. Do I want to go Marie Celeste or do I want to go Celeste Marie?
It will actually be the same either way, but is that cool to put the double S in there?
Yeah, I reckon.
Okay, just be careful because this one you may want to change at some point. You may want to upgrade it again.
I'm contemplating keeping it the same as my personal.
If you keep it the same as your personal, you're good.
Yeah.
You could also take this for 6 months or 3 months or a year, and then once you hit your ranks, you upgrade into the full version of you. But if you want to spread, you can. Or if that helps you make a decision to choose one or the other, you can let me know. But it's okay to deliberate. You've got the 7 in there, so I'm not expecting you to be coming up with the answer right now. Like, come on. I see the 7. I'm like, it's okay. Give me some time. It's all good. This is your business. This isn't just like, quickly, we're late. We got to go. Like, no, we're not going to do that to you.
Yep.
So maybe let's leave it like this for now and then deliberate over it, think about it, and then we'll come back to you if you want to change it, or if you do, just say, oh, I got to do it. So, Virginia, I'm really sorry I have to go. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, but I will keep in contact with you. Absolutely. Just to let you know, Virginia, I'm going to be giving you discounts to work with me. So in case you do want to, just pay attention to the end of the recording, and I'll release it for everybody all at the same time, okay? So, okay, next thing we got Jody. Is Jody still with us? Jody, are you here?
I am. I'm here.
Hello. You have
Hey.
you have a very interesting chart, okay? You have a very interesting chart. Your life path says 22. It says Master Builder. And then your birth name says God. So I kind of am very interested to think what you're planning or what it is that you want to do in life, because this is, and then you have double 7s in here. So there's a very strong connection, and you're about to get your voice back, because Jody Ashcroft has been a little bit tough to communicate, but depending on what direction you want to grow into, let's see what we have. What did we come up with? We had, did any?
Bobby, can I just jump in there? I'm really serious about getting rid of that Ashcroft. I've recently separated, and it's not something I feel comfortable or want to carry anywhere at the moment. So I have considered taking my maiden name back, or a Jodie M. Ashcroft, or Jodie M. Bevan, or somewhere back in that world. I want to drop the Ashcroft.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you right now, Jodie M. Bevan is a balanced vibration, but it could use something else. Hold on.
Why have I got nothing in the purple? Can you explain that to me?
Basically, with Jodie Ashcroft, we had no value of being able to put in a number that got you there with just one single letter, but you did have a J or an S. So going back to Bevan, because we're not going to go into Ashcroft anymore, what I would suggest is you have the option of a D, M, or a V, or an F, or an O, or an X. So Jodie O. Bevan, Jodie F. Bevan, Jodie X. Bevan, Jodie D. Bevan, Jodie M. Bevan, or Jodie V. Bevan. With an M. Bevan, the thing is that that's your name. So
that's my name.
It's one of those things where it's kind of hard to not want to take. You could even call it Amma, Jodie Amma Bevan, which is really weird, right? AMA.
I actually like if Jodie M. Bevan works, or is that what you said? Does that work? Or
Yep. That's who you are.
So that sits really grounded with me right now. That's who I am and who I want to go back to. But from a business perspective, what can I do here?
I would imagine that we would want to come up with something. What do we got?
Like if I went Jodie X Bevan there, what does that look like?
I wouldn't do that for business, actually. So let me just try Jodie Marie. Still missing something. How about this? Yeah, this is a tough one. So how about Jodie Bevan, and we'll start from there. You could go with EJ, ES, or even EH, or EQ, or EZ. So Jodie Easy Bevan.
What's that going to put out there, Barbara? I'd worry about that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, easy, Bobby. I don't.
Keep it real there, ladies. Let's figure it out. It basically takes you to value of purple, like the vibration of master woman. But yeah, it's just tough because then you have to go around saying, "I'm Jody Easy Bevan."
Easy.
You could also take EQ or EH, or HE or ZE or QE. So those are values that work in there. But taking 2 letters is kind of tough, so I get it.
Yeah,
We
I
could
don't
also
do that.
take Jody Marie Bevan. Wait a second. Sorry. Hold on. The Jody Marie Bevan is already in the purple. So in case you wanted to really step into your power, you have the number that says God in it. So I'm not sure in business if that's something that tickles you or not, but that's like the perfect name.
Let's do it.
Okay, so are you going to keep Jody M. Bevan for personal?
No, I'm going to go all in, all over.
Okay, let people know who you are. You don't need a name change. Don't change your name legally ever.
No.
Or unless you are legally changed it to Ashcroft, in which case.
Now, Bobby, that's what I wanted to ask you. I have checked. Like, I am on my marriage. Like, everything at the moment is Ashcroft, and I am considering going backwards to my maiden name.
You lost your voice with that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Big time.
like it just completely was like, ugh! Like you ever see Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
So I would suggest that I don't want to do this on the chart right now, but as an added bonus, I'm just gonna get you the dates because there's like 3 or 4 dates a month that'll work, and it looks like you're like, hey, I'm like on my way to the names office right now. Is today a good day?
Yeah, I'm signing tonight, Bobby.
Yeah, so I would definitely think that connecting immediately on an emergency session just to make sure that we know what days to do things. But changing your name legally back again, you'll want it to do that on the right day.
Okay, we'll book that in afterwards. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, welcome back, Jody Marie Bevan. Perfect. Okay, Sheena Simon Goon Chu, are you there with us? Are you still here? Sheena. Oh, doesn't look like it. Oh my God, no way. Oh yeah, I see you there. I just can't hear you yet. If you're there with us, let me know. Otherwise, you may have to type in. You could have to dial into your audio. It doesn't show you muted, but I can't quite see you. Hold on. Sheena, there you are. All right, I can see your camera. Let's try to mute you and then unmute you. How about now? No, you could be.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Great.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty full on. I must admit that it was like over my head, so I didn't understand a lot of it, but pretty excited.
I can appreciate that. Honestly, like if you can trust me with this, I know there's a lot of spiritual trust that you have. This will definitely help you through. Sheena S. Chu is not working yet. So we could go, I'm just trying to see if SG will work, if that does work. Or you could just take G instead of S. Let me just double check this here. Sheena Chu. And then we go in with a G. See, this one works pretty well. And you already have Goon in your name. Or if we go SG, it wouldn't work. It would have to go something else. N or W.
Yeah, I don't like the G.
Which one do you resonate with? How about just Sheena Simon Chu? Would you consider something like that? No, doesn't work.
No.
So if you were to take Sheena Chu and you were to take an initial, one of the more powerful ones that you have available is N or W, and I'll show you why. Just be patient with me here while I do this. Let me just do this real quick. Just gonna pull this to the side. Okay, so Sheena's birthday. She's a life path 7. She was born in June and she has an 8. 7, 8, 6. 6, 7, 6. There's 3 numbers in there that are all in. If you take the N or the W, you pull all 3 numbers into fruition. I would say that's your most powerful thing you could do in this could even look like this, like Sheena with 2 N, or even Chew with 2 W's with no S. Or you could even just do Sheena and Chew, Sheena W Chew.
I could do the W.
W stands for wealth.
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds. Yep.
Okay, so let's take. And what about if can we do this for your personal page as well? Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure I have this. I'm gonna get you purple, and your name is now in mastery. Go easy on yourselves in the next couple days, guys. This is not like a joke. This is like your life changes a little bit. Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
Does that mean I change my both personal Facebook page and my business Facebook page to that?
If you could, I would, just so that you have a nice, like, it's synonymous. I do. I have the same one. I don't suggest you use something different unless you have to for some reason. And if you do, then you can change it from W to N, or you could take a different letter altogether.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
Okay, so we've come to the end of everyone who's had like their numbers to be read. I wanted to just quickly spell a couple quick mentions for Julia and for Bill and also for Barbara, if in case you guys wanted to revisit the reds in your name, or if you guys are okay, keep it that way. Not sure if that's something you guys want to do online, but seeing as we're here, I'd love it if Julia put a U in your personal name, or if you weren't planning on doing that, that's fine. Or you can even spell Wunder with a W, or Julia, in case that's something of curiosity, but I'm not sure if you wanted to pay words to that or not. If you're still here, if you are. I think she's gone. Yeah, oh yeah, she did have to leave. Okay, so unfortunately, Julia is not going to get that. What about Bill? Are we gonna be putting an initial to your personal Facebook, or are you gonna leave it the way that it is? Dr. Bill K. Reed was good. I know that we just talked a couple minutes before our time together. What are you thinking on this? Can't hear you. Hold on. Can I see you? Where are you guys? I can see you, but I can't hear you. Let's go mute and unmute, and then connect and dial into audio, or connect to device audio on the bottom left. Send in the tech support. Naomi's got this. And while we're doing this, let's do here. Hey guys, I can hear you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you got us? Okay, so I remember from our session, one of the things was you said I can go with Dr. Bill K. Reed. That's great. That puts me in the purple. But there was a more powerful me that I could do if I wanted to.
You'll have to help me remember this because I can't quite remember.
So basically, we could go. So looking at my numbers, you know, I could go Dr. Bill K. Reed on my personal page, but then have you know, you talked about whether or not I want to go all out and play all out. And we talked about that in my session. You said, do you want to play all out or do you want to keep it a bit calmer? And I said at the time, let's keep it a bit calmer. But I'm listening to all of this. I'm thinking, hang on, I don't have time to go calm. I need to go all out. And funnily enough, that's what I said to you when I met you at the, when you were over here in Australia. I said, I don't have the time to muck about. I want to go all out. So, yeah. So whether or not we can.
So I would probably be looking at something around Bill A. Kellner Reed or J or S. This one really helps you. This one, I guess, actually either will. You got a lot of sevens in there. So in case you're wanting to go full out but not really rock the boat, or if you're wanting to change the vibe completely, then taking the 8 up front with the Bill A. Otherwise, Bill J or Bill S is going to be like super butter because you already show up. Like, it's either way, you're going to be powerful. And already Kellner Reed gives this to you. So I'd probably be leaning more towards the A.
Okay.
Ready to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And now that I've got Barbara here as well, what do you think, Barbara? Are you going to put an S here somewhere? Or are you going to eliminate, or we could also change Y if you're going to keep Success Designer in the whole thing?
Well, the name was really Barbara Y. Reed. So Success Designer is just, you know, the description or the tagline or something. And when you go to my page, it comes up just as Barbara Y. Reed, not as Barbara. Oh, it does. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
See this?
could-
Yeah. See there, it shows okay.
Okay, I'll take that out there because it actually should really just be Barbara Y. Reed and Success Designer, the strap line.
Sure. Okay.
And
Yeah.
what when we talked about it last time, we were talking about that I want to go into the black on the right with the vision that I had. And I thought that's where we landed.
Okay. Let me just double check this one.
Mm.
Barbara Y. Reed, 966. So it goes into the 966 range. If you're trying to go a little bit higher now, then instead of the Y, we would be looking at just Barbara Reed. And you take the letter out, and it goes into 988. And it does feel like this is something you're trying to do. Like just between me and you, it looks like this looks like something you're trying to get going.
Yeah, that's where I want to go.
If you want, we could also figure out how to put calendar back in there, but it's totally up to you. Like this is worthy of a massive leader. Like you are a mastermind, and I've seen you grow, and like the change in you, you actually may be ready for this, but it gives me chills to think about it. And I mean, this is your life, so you kind of have to think about it a little bit. But if it feels right, you lean into it. If it doesn't feel that great, then we'll be back. But Barbara Kellner Reed, this is also holding you back a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that too. So what can I do with that?
With that one, if you're going to keep it, you would be putting in, if you're going to keep Kellner Reed, then you would be putting in another, what is this?
Just go Barbara K. Reed.
Barbara K. Reed, let's see that. It would be
one that was really weak.
KG, it would be KG, KP, or KY Reed. So you would be able to do like this. Barbara KP, KG, or KY.
Double letters. Okay.
But really, you don't need anything in there.
Yeah, see, I do have a problem with just Reed.
Yeah.
I do have that. So
I don't.
But even with Barbara Reed, as powerful as it is, I have a problem with just Barbara Reed, and that's different reasons. But I'm happy to just revisit that with you to fine tune that if you want to, unless you come up with something in between that breaks that. And that's just because when we put up the Kellner Reed, we created the new timeline also to make the distinct difference from Bill's first part of his life to our new start of our life together.
Yeah.
So Barbara Reed for me feels like something's missing.
I hear what you're saying. So we were to go. How about we go Barbara Maria Kellner Reed? No, still missing something.
Yeah, that's not.
EB. Yeah, yeah. Now it's just getting a little bit too
So I think we'll do a follow-up session on that.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I'll think about that, and we'll do a follow-up session. And I think about the Barbara Reed thing, and I give you a chance to go back to I think Naomi wants to have a go. And
I just want to ask one quick question.
Sure.
And that is with my name. I don't want to change that. But on Instagram, because you mentioned it earlier, like Naomi E. Christine Kellner, that's a really long handle. Does Naomi E. Christine work?
Naomi E. Christine. Let's try this. If it's going to be Naomi Christine, you would be putting an X. An E doesn't work. So Naomi X Christine or Naomi F Christine. But Naomi Christine X would work pretty cool. It would actually look pretty neat.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Cool.
Sorry, it's spelling Naomi with an X with an E on it. So it'd be Naomi EX Christine or Naomi XE Christine. So yeah, I just recognize it has an extra E in there. So it could be Naomi Christine with a DM or a V. So Naomi V Christine.
No. Okay, I'll think about it.
Cool. Think about it. Celeste, why don't you put your, you can unmute yourself, or actually let's go back in order. So let's go back to Katharina, if you've deliberated or are you still thinking about it. Or how about Mandy? Did we want to we wanted to get the B in, or did we figure it out? I'm not sure if we did or not. I can't remember.
No, I'm good. I did think about it and listen to what the others did with their names. So can I start with the business name, please?
Sure. So let's just do like this.
So, when I put a chrysanthis, THIS, which is often the female version in the Greek, like the female family names just end in S, would that bring me into the purple, into the 966?
We would go just on its own, chrysanthi, or do you want to put something else there too?
Now put an S at the end of it.
So we put the S at the end of it. It only moves one letter up. So in this case, it goes to 1, 2, 3, and we need to be putting it somewhere up here. So we're looking at the blue letters. Sorry, this I guess is a bit confusing.
That's why I looked at the S and the U here. Oh, I see. So I'm looking at the U. So if I would chrysanthi space X, would that work then?
Yes. This would work.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be on that.
Okay. Yeah, so that would work for the business name, right?
Yep.
Yep, I like that.
Let's do it. Perfect. And what about Katharina Chrysanthi? Or we figured this one out as well?
That's interesting because I changed to that name recently because I was always Katharina Kyle, had my family name there. And now I changed it to Katharina Chrysanthi. So from what I hear, I might be not able to change it. But what if I do what if I do Katharina C. Kyle again? So the C and then my family name. Would that?
This is balanced. So I'm glad we found this one. This one looks like this. It goes like this, 876. So you take this on and you're in the back, you're back in the purple.
So 876 is to the very right. What did that mean again, 876?
We have value of business up front, a law of attraction up front, and then we have a godlike power on the inside to connect you back to source. And then the 6 balances your communication into family as well into wealth. So it's the all-star vibration. I use this myself, so don't get me started because I'm like,
No, because this is interesting because Katharina C. Kyle I use a lot in other, like in documents, but I never thought using it really in business or in my Facebook name. So I have to see how I can do this, how I can change it again. And so Chrysanthi X is green.
Yeah, I just recognize that. Thank you, Barb, for letting me know. I would say that of the more powerful, you're looking at Katharina C. Keel. But at the same time, a green number is not any worse than a purple one. It's just...
No, I want purple. Sorry. I am not settling for less or second best, and Bill knows why. That's done. That's done.
In which case, I would probably, to be fair, to be honest with you, I would be running in, like, if you have a life path 9 and a name 876, there's a natural divine progression of mastery along those lines. I would say Katharina C. Keel would be the one you'd want to go with for your business name.
Okay, done.
Cool. Very powerful. Very powerful. This is nuts. I wonder if anyone else feels this. Like we're shifting fates. Like
no, it feels. Sorry to interrupt. It feels really right. I love the chrysanthi coming back into and acknowledging my Greek heritage, but it never felt right, and now it feels right. It just has the right KCK. It just feels right.
Cool. Absolutely. Okay, so I've got some questions.
So much.
You're very, very welcome. Where are we?
And
Pretty.
sorry, I want to have an appointment with you too afterwards because I want to talk to you about my PTY LTT company, the Cat Productions company.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so when we're looking at, let's see here, we had Mandy wants to take a look at a purple name. So let's take a look and see what we got. Okay, let's pull Mandy back out. And absolutely, if everyone else is taking a purple name, then like what the heck, right? Just so you guys know, like they're not worse off. I guess I just want to make sure that we understand that. So I'm just gonna try something. Mandy Spooner. So if you were to go like, and this is a thing here, right? Mandy Spooner with a Y. You would go back and you would go naturally into a master version of yourself. So I'm not sure if that's going to be okay for you, or if you really like to spell it with the IE. It might just make things a bit more difficult for you in terms of finding the right name. But you've got a lucky version of you because you've got a name that worked before well, and then a natural name, Mandy Spooner, that's actually yours, that speaks into the mastery version of you already without the need of another initial. You could actually, being Isabel, you could put an I in the middle, and it would be the same thing. I and R do not like change the vibration of a name because of the. So in case you're feeling I Spooner or just Mandy Spooner, now would be a good time in case you're liking that. But when I see this, it's hard to give you an initial when your actual name is literally the most perfect thing. I named my son.
Okay, so if I just went Mandy, Mandy Spooner, that's good. No, that's good. Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, would I change? So obviously, my domain that's linked to Gaz is Viva Health and Wealth. Would I get a new domain, Mandy Spooner?
I would, but let's just check out Viva Health and Wealth and just say what we're looking at. VivaHealthAndWealth.com.
Yeah.
VivaHealthAndWealth.com. www. You make sure you put www no matter when you use that. As long as it's a web page, it says www.vivahealthandwealth.com. You're in the purple with that name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you could keep it.
Oh, okay. All right. So keep that domain. So I can keep Viva Health and Wealth. Okay, cool. All right.
www.com at the end of it. It tags it in there, okay?
And that's what's linked to my Gaz, vivahealthandwealth.com.
Perfect.
Cool.
So if
all right, easy.
Are sending people there, just make sure it has the www on the front of it.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Okay. All right. Easy. Thank you. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna go through. We're gonna go now into see Celeste's Instagram name. So Celeste, what name are you using for Instagram?
Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to change my FB Facebook to the same as my personal. And Instagram, I'm currently using Marie Celeste.
Okay, so for Instagram, if you're thinking about doing like this?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're gonna take Marie Celeste for your Instagram, I would do this. I would do the extra S. And the reason why Instagram is a bit of a different game, there's a lot of visual, there's a lot of like pictures, and there's a lot of adventure. So this is like the Instagram special. So unless you're planning on doing much more serious work on Instagram, the Marie Celeste with an S, extra S in it, will actually work really well for Insta. At the same time, there's nothing wrong with doing this and just swiping through your whole life and make sure all things are Celeste Marie V. Woods.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Mandy Spooner, can I get a name? You're very welcome. Absolutely a pleasure. Svenja, hi, Bobby. Can you please go through mine as well? Heck yeah, we can. So let's do Svenja. She's a really good friend of mine. I've had a lot of fun working, seeing this woman grow. We already changed your name once or twice. So I'm going to caution this one. We went from, are you able to unmute yourself, or are you not able to? If you can, you can.
Yeah, I am.
Hey. Okay, so we've got some options here. If I take Svenja Dam on its own, and I put a letter A, you become, you step into your 898. So this is with Svenja Adam. Then there's also the J or the S, which takes you into 718. And then you are already experiencing the one right now, 786, which is H, Q, or Z. It took me a few years to figure this out, and it unloaded a lot that was going on within me. So if you feel like this is the time to take a new name or upgrade or step to your next level, just be aware that it could start moving around a little bit. Or if you want, we can start playing around with this. You don't have a middle name though, do you?
No.
So it's tough to come up with a couple of words or a couple of letters. Do any other of these make sense to you, or do you feel aligned to any of them?
Look, the thing is that I felt with that age that I completely lost connection to my spirituality. I think that's what I wrote you, is that it gave me a lot of power and I was really like going strong, but it didn't feel like me. I felt like really disconnected and really hard and not connected to my emotions anymore. So I just worked from a place that, yeah, just by the end of the year just didn't feel good anymore. So I just need to find a place again that is a bit more connected to myself and spirituality, and then work from that place. Still going strong and still building a big business. This is still the vision, but I need to come from my heart. And I had the feeling the whole last year, I just came from my head, from my mind.
You know, it's interesting that you'd say that, because the Svenja H. Dam, it holds business and holds heart. So, and there could be a train of thought to think that you're growing through and expanding in a place that you know that you weren't in anymore, to recreate the path of spirituality from a new spot. Or if you're feeling like, no, that's not it, it's the letter, I need a new letter, then the thing is that the A takes you out of emotion, and the J and the S takes you out of emotion. So we're challenged to find something that works powerfully. I wonder if there's another thing that you use, or if there's another, because if we were to take, let's say, Svenja Dam, and we were to try to put something else in here. Let's try this, and let's go, like if you were to put Svenja EU Dam or UE, this would take you into Master of Emotion. So this would be, but then you have to take two letters. So it's a little strange, right? I mean, I'm not sure how.
Especially EU is for Europe. It's a bit weird, Svenja Europe.
So I mean, it could even go like Svenja U Dam with an E at the end, but I don't know. It's kind of messing up your name a lot. So I'm curious as to what we might think is the best idea for this. See, we're a little bit limited with a single initial, or else we take a double initial and it looks kind of strange. But what about if I were to do, let's go EU, and let's try, instead of the U, we'll go like this and then go there. Yeah, it's either like Svenja UG, so ugh. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help me. So I mean, my best idea would be to either like find a way to connect inside of that name, switch the initial around, or yeah, like I'm limited in option there. Well, let me see what else we have. 8, 7. There could be an AG or GA or AP or AY. There could also be a E. No, I'm trying to figure one out, but it doesn't. Yeah, it keeps coming back to EU.
And you said the A would be even more extreme, so completely no emotions, just.
Yeah, all into the cerebral, all into the head, the law of attraction value. So yeah, how about Svenja Dam straight? That's good. Nope, doesn't work, Barbara. Sorry, we tried. And I'm also going to just quickly see Cecile Eberton. Let's just try that one real quick, and let's just see here so I can, because I know that that's a little bit of a bigger call there. With Svenja's got some choices to make. Burton, yeah, it does work. You can do that for your Instagram. And then Pranny saying, "Can I go purple with my FB name?" Yes, you can. So then you would just go with the vibe that you were holding on to earlier. Is that okay to go Doyayag with 2 G's there, Pranine? Is that okay?
No. Can I just ask what is the difference of that 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7, 8, 6?
Partnership, hard work, and balance. And then 786 is intuition, business, and connection to heart, or connection to balance and emotion. So it makes it very peculiar to wonder why Svenja's feeling the disconnection from that with the name that's actually supposed to circulate around bringing God in and also bringing around love. It makes me wonder if it's the name or if it's just your growing curve. Because for me, it took me like three years almost to balance that name out. And yeah, so I'm curious. I'm still thinking about that. Can we get a list of what the numbers mean? Jody, I'm gonna come up with that, but if you guys want just like a quick little something here I can come up with. 1 is got leadership, 2 is partnership, and then 3 is creativity, 4 is balance, or I'll say foundation, and then 5 is going to be adventure, and then 6 would be I don't know, let's see, balance, and then 7 would be spirit. 8 would, I like to call 8 I'd like to say wizard or law of attraction, and then 9 would be humanitarian. And then you see 11s, we see angel, we see 22, we see engineer.
So if what letter will I include if I will want to go to purple in this FB name?
If it's just Pranine Kawang?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it.
But what is that? What's better that 4-2? I think this 2-4-6 is better than 1-7-1-8 a while ago. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I like to think so because I'm a more social person. So for me, I like that it shows up that way.
That 2-4-6.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want Pranine Kawang, then we'd be looking at 696, or it'd be AU. Pranine AU Kawang.
AU. I don't like to include other letters.
So how about how does DP work? No.
Maybe if I can just stay here, and then if in case I want to change, what letters are you going to suggest?
We had the letters in there, F or X, D, M, or V. Oh wait, so how about that one? That one's not bad either. Pranine X. Yeah.
X.
Very powerful. That's the F as the 268. And then the other side would be the O, 898. Really, really powerful. But then super disconnected.
Super disconnected for what? For my name.
Emotions, love. It's serious. And so you would rely on your partner.
I don't like too serious.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I don't take it. I have an option for it too. I could go Bobby X, Q, or Z, and I didn't take it because I'm like, that's way too serious.
No, I don't like too serious.
But if you take the F or the X, it brings God power back in, and it absolutely does work really well.
Okay, so I will just remove the D. I will just stay
like
as is. Okay. So if I will X, where will I go? What number will I go?
It's less hard working. The 268.
Okay. Instead of 718.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But that is different already from me. X.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit different, but
yeah.
Do you want to keep that one there, or do you want to keep thinking?
Maybe. So that is purple already. Okay. 266. 266.
268.
268.
Yeah.
Okay. So the hardworking is removed already.
I like to take 4s out because 4s will work a little bit harder than they need to. With the exception of Hilda, of course, and she can't change it, and it's a good name, but it's just that it's a little bit more difficult to get things moving as a leader. It wants to be hardworking. It wants to do it itself.
Yeah, it's very hard if the heart is in your name.
Yeah, exactly. And you already have that in your name too. Like as of 55, you're going into a 4 and a 6. So it's not a bad look to take the D and then to have that, because that's something that you already are going through. So there is power in that as well. But I like this one better. I actually do like the F or the X better. Totally up to you though.
Okay. XF.
X or F.
X or F. X or F. Okay.
Yeah.
It's either of the two.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
or maybe the X. Maybe the X.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
And, we're coming back full circle. I thought I said I heard Penny wanted to get some done as well. So I'm just gonna quickly see if I can pull this up. Hold on, my chat came low. So let's just do this.
Thank you, Bobby. Hi.
Of course. We're gonna come back to you in a second. Just gonna pull it up. You gave me them. Penny, can I ask about my domain name? Yeah, luminarylife.com.au and Penny Schultz. What about Svenja? Do we have any go on this yet?
No, I don't like any of the double letters.
I understand. Completely understand. Give me 1 second here. com.au. Luminarylife.com.au is not working for business. How about pennyschultz.com? Or how about we'll just try the www as well. Come on. Luminarylife.com.au. Yeah, okay, so it will work if you put the www in there, okay? So www.luminarylife.com.au, but then it becomes a mouthful, but it does work, okay? And I'm on pennyschultz.com. Go this way, and we'll do that. .com, and then www. This one does not work. So in order to make it work, if you were to keep www, you would want to be putting a letter A on there, pennyschultz.com, www.pennyschultz.com, or you could put a J or an S.
I think I'd just drop it. What about pennymichelle.com?
Michelle.com. It's missing something.
Oh, what about T?
Still not. Actually, let's take www out and put the T. No, still not working.
Okay. What about .au?
Yeah, I'm trying that one. AU, and then T. Oh, it's one off. How about this? www and then T. Here we go. www.pennytmichelle.com.au.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the one.
Great. Sorry, Lovefest as an IG handle. LOVFEST.
LOVFEST for no E on love?
No, sorry, LOVE, Lovefest, yeah.
I would put a Love Fest or Love Fiesta. Okay, yeah. But Love Fest on its own doesn't work. It needs an extra A or an IA.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, a Love Fest would work. Or Love Fests. Like
or an S?
Yeah. Or you can even spell fest with 2 S's. Love, F-E-S-S-T. You want to get super creative.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, very, very welcome. Celeste, do I keep my domain as take your power back? That one was trouble. So in case you want to do take your power back, I thought I saw one. Take your power back. It would be like this. If you can read this, it says T-A-K-E-U-R, power back. Instead of your, and then you would say like T-A-K-E-U-R-P-W-R-B-A-C-K. So in case you want to keep that, then you can as your domain. But instead of spelling your, you take the Y-O out, okay? Cool. And then Katharina says, can I check Passion Cats? Let's try that one. And you can see how come this thing can take more than 3 hours because everybody wants to check their names, which is why I'm coming out with an app. Okay, so Passion Cats doesn't work, but if you were to put a C, an L, or a U on it, you'd be back in business. And sorry, Bobby, what about my freedom name? Can I keep myfreedomandhealth.com? Let's try it. Let's go www.myfreedomandhealth.com. How about no? How about without the www? No. So it's missing something. And that's a little bit of a tough one because you can't really put a letter in there and make it work. But we could absolutely, do that for you. Hilda needs to go, so I appreciate that, Hilda. If you're still with us, thank you so much. I need to leave and get my kids. Sorry, and thank you. Absolutely, Jody, for sure. How does rainbowseverywhere.com fit? Okay, let's try it. I'm also going to let you guys in on this because everybody does have to go. You guys are entitled to an exclusive price with me, okay? So what I'm going to suggest is that you guys absolutely book in with me. We do your own personal session and get it all done. We get a chance to go in deep. But for anyone in Team 10X, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a bonus session. So if you guys book in 15 minutes with me, I'm going to give you a 15-minute session on me, okay? If you book in a half an hour session with me, I'm going to give you another 15-minute session with me as well. If you book in an hour session with me, I'm going to give you an extra half an hour session. Whether you use it or keep it or gift it or send it to someone else, it's up to you. But 15 minutes or half an hour, you get an extra 15 minutes. And if you book in a full hour with me, I'll give you an extra half an hour. And that's just a big, huge, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys so much for spending your time with me. But back to this, we're going to go www.rainbowsareverywhere and .com. This one works. www.rainbowsareverywhere.com. It's good. Okay? Rainbows. No, you spelled it differently. You spelled it with just the R. If you put A-R-E, then you're fine. If you spell it just rainbows are everywhere, it doesn't work. You have to put rainbows are everywhere with the actual A-R-E. We are getting written reports as well. It's recorded. Can you explain my numbers? It's 786 in purple and in black 6827. Where is this? Sheena. Let's just quickly get that. So 729 instead of Sheena, there it's going to be a difficulty for communication. We're pushed away from the words and pushed away from the ability to speak. 682 equals 7 is your birthday, June 8th plus 1972. We equal out to a life past 7, which means you're a bit quieter in general. And this is something we would absolutely be going through inside of a session. And then can you have a written number, a written copy explaining the numbers? That I haven't come out with yet. So that you're asking me to finish my book. There are books out there that you can get on numerology, but absolutely I would definitely be looking for mine. I absolutely need a session for sure. Christy and Brian would absolutely love that. Cecile E. Burden on your thing there is for sure. And yes, you're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you guys so much. For also anybody who wants to take advantage of the booking, just let me know. I'm Team 10X, and then when we talk and confirm on my site www.bobbyfperryhar.xyz, you can absolutely book me in. But when you go to book in, you just let me know that you're part of the group, and then I'll remember you, of course. And then I'll be like, hey, are we extending your session? Are you saving it? Are you gifting it? It's up to you, okay? I will need to go and get my son. Okay, thank you so much. Price list is as your website? Yes. So they're all in US. I know it's expensive, but I promise you value. I would love to go and book a private session. So, hey, if I'm giving you guys a free extra half an hour, 2 people want to book in for an hour, it's $134 each, and you basically get 45 minutes each. Okay, so however you 2 want to do it, you go to my site to book it, okay? And I'm keeping this for you. So there's no, like, do it now, or otherwise it'll expire. Like, it's yours. This list, you all are going to be exclusive pricing. For the next session, I'll give you that extra 15 or that extra 30, depending on what you need. Other than that, it looks like we don't have any other questions. Unless we do, but please don't, because it's been 3 hours and 45 minutes, and it's almost 1 in the morning. So I will say this. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you guys all so much for being here with me. To do this is a very big pleasure of my life. You guys absolutely give me purpose. I get a chance to become a better person because I get to help you guys become wealthy. I'm going to post the recording to YouTube. So unless anyone's like, don't do that, then I have my birthday on there and my number, then let me know and I kindly will not. But usually people aren't too like finicky about it. And also this is where the YouTube will, or the replay will go. I appreciate you guys so much. In the next like 10, 15 minutes, you're all going to get written reports. I'm going to give you guys all written reports based on your names and your birthday, and I will message you privately for that. So in the meantime, if you guys do book in, I would really appreciate that. It definitely keeps me going, but I appreciate you guys so much for this. And Barbara, there you go. Your team is absolutely 10x. Like, this is power. Like, you guys have got a lovely set of names. I'm just going to let you guys admire this for a quick second here as we go back to this, and I share my screen for the last time. Your guys' names are all absolutely powerful. This is like sincerely cleared. And I've never seen so much mastery in my life. Like, this is going to be absolutely nuts to watch you guys grow. So thank you, all of you once again, you beautiful souls. And I appreciate it. I look forward to working with all of you guys one-on-one, okay? Cool. Excellent. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thanks, Bobby. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.